Good afternoon and welcome to the latest episode of Pandora's Wake Apocalypse Age, Chapter 3, Keep Calm and Carry On. I'm Brian F. Irving, I'm from DH9 Radio and from Gethsemane Games, and I will be your Games Master for this afternoon. The system we'll be playing is the Modern Age system by Green Ronin Publishing, which you can purchase at the shop on Green Ronin's website, or also at Drive-Thru RPG if you would prefer to buy it as a PDF, although the PDF is also available on their website. The setting is Pandora's Wake from Gethsemane Games, written by myself and M.R. McGowan. Sorry, our clock on animation has just gone ballistic. I'm just going to delete it. There we go. It's never a live show till something's gone wrong. So the setting, as I mentioned, is Pandora's Wake by myself and M.R. McGowan of Gethsemane Games. Sound effects that you'll be hearing during the course of the game are by DH9 Radio's Foley unit, Battle Bards, and of course freesound.org. The music you'll be hearing is by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com and by the DH9 Radio production unit, as well as by, I just noticed they don't have a credit in the text, which I thought they had. Tabletop Audio would be the third one. I'll add that in for next time. Most of the maps you'll be seeing are done with Campaign Cartographer 3 by Pro Fantasy Software and are done by myself and Gethsemane Games and are copyright to Gethsemane Games. There is an exception. There is one map which may show up tonight, which is available online at various free mapping projects, but I cannot find any reference to who originally created it. So when we get to that map, I'll point it out, and whoever it was that created it, thank you very much. It's available on a lot of sort of free maps for gaming sites, but it just doesn't seem to be credited anywhere, and I'd love to be able to credit the person who did it. But the rest of the maps are by myself. So let me bring you up to speed. Pandora's Wake is a post-apocalyptic game in which you can play in one of three time periods. You can play in the one that the first season of this show that we're in at the moment is set in, which is the beginning of the end, when the Pandora Event first tears holes through the universal wall that separates our universe from the otherverse and starts to let the horrors of that otherverse sweep into our world. You can also play it in a slightly later historical period, the Apocalypse Now, which is the first few years of the fall, and you can also play an aftermath setting, which is the many years after that, when you've got generations who hadn't been alive before the apocalypse happened. So we're currently in the first week of the fall of civilization, as the Pandora Event has torn holes through the walls of the universe and alien creatures have entered. Our characters are people who met on the Underground Light Railway in Newcastle, and I will have them, their players, introduce themselves now as I go through them. So your cast for today is Mark Savall as Rab.
You have 8 Macca's.
Chris Gibson as Adam Taylor.
Hey.
Jenny Savall as Erin Black.
Hello.
Ben Watson as Joe Watson.
Yeah.
Sean McGuile as Thomas Gallagher.
Greetings.
And Marie McGowan Irving as Elizabeth Lizzie Ryan.
Hello.
Okay, so as I mentioned, the characters met on the Metro, the Underground Light Railway in Newcastle upon Tyne in northeast of England, when the Pandora Event was actually occurring, and the light railway was attacked by strange, monstrous creatures of the otherverse. Pulling together, these 6 people managed to survive and managed to get the driver out alive as well. Since then, they have done a great many things to survive. Society is still ticking along in the UK, although things are starting to change a little bit. We're about a week in. The players are, or some of the players are, guilty of a robbery of a museum in which they've stolen a number of medieval but usable weapons, and the other team of the party have found and purchased a bunker. Excuse me, an old R1 Cold War bunker which they intend to convert, and I'm just going to take you over to see it right now. And here we are at the bunker. You will notice, some of you that haven't been in since last week, that there are some changes to the bunker in the colours of Ben and Chris. That's because they've been marking some of the changes they want to make to the bunker to make it habitable. Currently it's an abandoned bunker. It's quite clearly being used by local kids for parties, and other less mentionable things have also gone on here. If those used condoms you kept finding around the entrance anything to go by. The power's off, the water's on. You've managed to talk the local farmer whose land this is on into selling you the bunker and indeed an acre of land around it. However, the bunker's going to need a good clean up and a bit of work to make it livable again. You might notice the version of the bunker I'm showing you has had a lot of the old Cold War furniture removed from the map itself. Also, somebody's been in with a trowel and some concrete mix, because you'll notice that the bits of damage here and there to the concrete has been repaired. I'll give you that one for free, but right now you guys are all going to have to decide which part of the work you're going to want to do first. Some of you weren't in on this discussion, so you might want to get in and have a look around the bunker and decide for yourselves if you're happy with the proposal.
Exposed pipe has been repaired.
Yeah.
The exposed pipe. Sorry, go ahead, Ben.
Okay. I was gonna say I would like to replace a lot of the machinery, especially the aircon. It'll be a lot more energy efficient and size mainly, because that aircon's massive. But like, I feel like a modern one would be a lot smaller.
A modern one would be a lot smaller. That one's about 3 meters by 2 meters, which is huge by the standards of a modern air conditioner. The modern one you would need was probably bigger than you're thinking, because it needs to supply air throughout this bunker, but you would still get it down by about a third. So what does everybody else think of that?
I think the first... we've got a generator that we bought. It's a solar powered one.
That one.
So that'll let us get started on some works.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the first priority should be getting some electricity in place. Now we should probably look at some kind of sustainable type, because the grid will go. The grid will disappear.
So I've got
That's why
that
you
solar,
want a generator.
that solar battery.
A petrol Jenny and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the solar generator will be good backup. It's probably not going to be enough to run the whole place 24/7. So what we should probably think about is some kind of solar or wind power on the surface.
Yeah.
The solar power battery that Erin's bought so far... sorry, just give me a second to try and hang up on this call. Oh great, there doesn't appear to be a way to.
It's a nice theme tune, though.
It is nice, isn't it?
Bling,
Yeah.
bling, bling.
So apologies for that, folks. Okay, so the solar battery that you've bought is... it's designed to run a small house. It's not got enough juice in it to run this entire bunker once everything's up and running. But it will certainly tide you over temporarily, but you will need to add some more to that.
So I think, the first priority should be to secure the place.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
we secure the place, we clean the place, so we're probably going to need hazmat for that. We secure the place, we clean the place, then we get power and water going. Everything else after that, like, at the moment, it's open to anybody that wants to wander in. There's no electric, there's running water, but who knows if the toilets still work or anything. And the wiring was done when this was a Cold War bunker,
Cold War
40-year-old,
That's
maybe
about, yes.
even 50. So we need to prioritise security first, clean up second, and then water and power.
Okay.
Definitely.
Think the
And
Queen
also
would
try
be
and
able
get
anyway.
them.
And we don't necessarily, none of us have to move in right away, you know, because the world's no gone to hell in a handbasket yet. The chances are, like, I mean, I know Lizzie and her sister would have a lease on that flat. They'd have to, if they leave at the end of the lease, before the end of the lease, the landlord's going to come looking for them. And you don't really want a landlord knocking on the door of your secret bunker, do you? So a lot of us, it's just going to be a case of, and to be as inconspicuous as possible, a slow drift rather than all of us moving in at once,
Yeah.
especially before we've done any works.
Okay.
And
I
I
was
think,
thinking, yeah.
Go ahead, Chris.
sorry,
I was thinking we could get mattresses and furniture from people's homes that they've already got,
oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. I mean, we're all going to
Good
have
point.
stuff we want to bring. You know,
and even
you're
a
going to
cooker
have
maybe.
personal
It's
stuff.
already, yeah.
Yeah, and I think probably if we do that, and if we start, if we do what we said we were going to do at the farmer, if we get the power and the water in,
Yeah.
and the place secured, we can do the ghost hunts. We can even stream them and monetize it. We can do the escape room experience, and we can do that while we're doing the place up. You know.
I was thinking because of farmland and what's our elevation? You got any idea?
Well, you're just outside Cramlington, so you're not a huge distance above sea level. But this is one of the higher points, so you've got no
Because
immediate
if
worries
there's
about
a
water
wind turbine nearby, we could try and connect into that and run
leech
the
off their power. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, well, this is the UK in the 21st century. There will definitely be a wind turbine nearby somewhere. Leeching power
it's a
off
long
it might
job,
be a
but-
touch tricky, but
Yeah.
at the moment it might be a touch tricky because the authorities might go.
Oh
what,
yeah. Once they
what
go
are
and
you
do a
doing?
check, because they frequently check them. Maybe in the future. Then that's a future thought.
It's certainly once government and authority has collapsed, which you guys
Yeah.
currently expect to happen.
But the backup generators and like a generator inside is a good idea.
Currently, your
Just,
generator isn't powerful enough to do the entire bunker, but you're not running the entire bunker's systems at once. So,
No, what we're going to do is we're going to secure the place, clean the place. Well, when I say clean, get rid of the most offensive rubbish, because if we're going
That's
to do
no way to
things
talk
like
about
if we're
that.
going to do if we're going to do escape rooms and ghost hunts, nobody wants to come into it when it's spotless. So you want to have it still have rust stains on the wall and be a bit. Some of the rooms still have the old furniture in or whatever until we're sort of we get the place
think the air
habitable,
ducts,
because
yeah.
it's not going to be we're not going to go down there and sweep up some rubbish and it's going to be immediately inhabitable. It's nobody's. It was only intended to be lived in an emergency, and the emergency that caused that never arose, so it's just an empty space really.
yeah. Is there anybody who is not happy with that plan or has anything they would like to add or subtract from it?
I was gonna ask, what do you guys think about security fences? Because I know we want to be like low profile, but we also want security.
Yeah, and you could have test the security.
Yeah. Bear in mind that on the surface, you are surrounded on three sides by woodland.
Okay.
Remember, the party that found the place had to find it on a map because they couldn't see it from the road. On the fourth side is Alan's farm, the guy you bought it from, which extends for miles. So people would have to, they're not going to see it from the road. They're either going to have to be looking for it or they're going to have to notice it from Alan's farm. So you have a little bit of privacy in that regard.
Yeah, so I think maybe if we're gonna have any security, it would be more inside.
Okay.
For now, I would say.
We should try and flatten the ground above and like clear anything that might affect the structure of the building in the future. 'Cause
Okay.
you said,
Sorry, go ahead.
you said that it used to be some sort of security like building above, and where it got destroyed.
The guardhouse, years ago when this was a functioning station, there would have been a guardhouse and you would have entered the bunker through the back stairs of the guardhouse. The guardhouse was pulled down after the the bunker was sold to Alan.
Let's find a way to secure that entrance again.
Okay. So let me just have a look. We'll deal with that in just a second, because
Yep.
I want to touch on something before we do, and then largely hand it over to you guys. So, the way this is going to work is currently the bunker doesn't have an income of its own, therefore it has a resource setting of 0. Okay. Some of Marie's suggestions, where you use it to generate money through ghost hunts and through escape rooms, if you set that up, that will actually give the bunker its own resource number as well.
Yeah.
However, until then, the only way the bunker project has any money is if it takes it from you guys. So, the bunker now has a pool, a resource pool. That resource pool is currently at 0. Every month, the party can each decide which characters will sacrifice how many of their own resource points to the bunker project. If you sacrifice a resource point, it comes off your resource number for that month, so you can't use it yourself, but the bunker project can use it. And obviously the bunker project's resources will be the sum of all the points that were dumped in it that month. Right? At the end of the month, your resource point comes back to you, and you can decide how many points you're putting in that month. So you can start spreading the work over the course of the month. That's the kind of boring bookkeeping part of it. So, now you know that, before we rush into how much everybody's putting in, probably time for you all to go around and have a bit of a look at how much you think the different things are going to cost. So, Chris, you mentioned making a secure point on the surface so that...
I had another money idea as you were telling that.
Okay, go ahead.
Depending on how well we can do, I guess it can go on a roll of a dice each time. We could record everything we're doing and put on YouTube and maybe get our Twitch while we're doing it and maybe get a revenue from it.
Yes. Yes. Okay, yes.
Yeah, what we do is we have monetized channels where we have doing up our Cold War bunker.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
are a
You
lot
get in
of
with
people
that, yeah.
watch that kind of channel, yes.
Yes.
Well,
And we could have the ghost hunt, and we could have, and each one of us runs a separate channel. I mean, Rab could run stealing stuff from my Cold War bunker.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure it's a great idea to have a YouTube channel about how you nick stuff and where from,
Aye.
but go on.
My 5-finger discount. But yeah,
Mark,
I
you
could
gonna
do
say-
it. I could do it like in the Glasgow version of Steve Irwin. Now what are we gonna do now?
I
Okay.
will just probably occasionally wander through going, the fuck are these muckers doing? Alright.
Okay, so I'm going to recreate the little notepad I created here for this. So jobs done will get moved down to there. And
Could
I'll
we
just-
take out like huge bank loans, like get crippling debt?
You can attempt to, but really your resources already accounts for the amount of money you can borrow, what your credit limit is, as well as your actual liquid assets. So you could attempt to increase your resources, but it isn't easy to do without actually going out and
Right, can
Getting
I
a
ask
job
for a
too.
raise?
I think Sean has some.
from. Can you ask for a raise from your bank robbing mates?
Yes.
yeah,
I
so they
mean-
douse him in petrol and they set him on fire. Oh, he meant RAI.
Yeah,
not
wrong
RAZ.
kind of raise, I think there.
Oh,
So I'm
that's, a
just
good,
gonna
that's a good question, actually, Sean. Aye.
The person you're asking for a raise is also in the bunker, so.
No, he's not. No, he's
Is he
not.
not?
No.
Oh.
Everybody has just assumed that Philip's going to stay in the bunker. He's made no.
I'm gonna ask him to stay in, but obviously it's his choice. I will insist though, obviously.
It's your choice, but I'm going to insist, and I do have this crossbow that I stole.
Well,
Okay.
Like I say, at the moment, this is not inhabitable. There's no power. There's
Yeah.
limited water. You can't cook. You can't have a shower. You can't have a bath. You can't even have a poop if the toilets don't work. How do you think anyone's living here?
Yeah.
Unless
Nobody.
you're going to do what the teenagers did and crap in the corner.
Aw.
So Marie's quite right. It's not inhabitable at the moment. It won't be until you've got a significant way down the line of the jobs that you've got planned. So you can ask him if he wants a place in the bunker.
Because I'll be like, well, you've already lost your hand to one of those things. We don't know how many there's out there. This would be the safest place, you know.
He thanks you.
Lose his hand.
Well, he got it back. Yeah. It got better. You did manage to find a medic who was able to reattach it. We are now just a few days after that, so he's kind of still... His hand doesn't work at the moment, but he's starting to get the sensation back. He thanks you for the offer. It's a very kind offer of you. He's got a few things to look into. He's not ruling out coming to stay in your bunker, just in case, but... He's also not entirely ruling it in either. He's not 100% sure it's going to be necessary. He seems to have a little bit more faith in the UK as an island, being able to hold off these monstrous creatures that are running around. You do point out that the chances of that are becoming less and less as time goes on, because several days ago, the first reports of alien pathogens creating diseases we'd never seen before broke out in... Central Europe and the Middle East, and it's only a matter of time before they get here, so he's going to keep that under advisement. He thanks you very much for the offer, and
the offer is always on the table, Phil.
Well, thank you very much.
Could we ask him to leave one of his cars?
You could ask.
Can we have your car?
Probably the Ford.
You could ask, who would like to ask Phil if they can have one of his cars?
I guess I'm the one asking.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
I guess I'll ask. I'm the one asking.
Okay, how would you like to ask him?
Persuasion?
Go for it.
Never mind.
Okay, so how would you like to phrase the question?
One of these a car, mate.
I've got a fairly strong idea. I know how I'm going to phrase the answer.
Please don't kill me is your first 3 words, or 4 words.
Even if I add improvisation, it's still low. I don't know. I guess I'm about to ask him and then think, and I just walk away.
Okay, you're about to ask him if you can have one of his cars for the bunker, and then you think, there's no way this is a professional bank robber. There's no way he's just giving away one of his cars to some guy he's only met a few days ago. And you think better of asking him, which saves me having to come up with some creative swearing, which is a shame because creative swearing is one of my favourite pastimes. Okay, so taking a look, as Chris suggested earlier, at the ruins of the guard tower on the surface, the guard room on the surface. What you've largely got up there now is just the basement, which is just a couple of rooms, and the foundations, just like on the surface is like a flat concrete slab. You could pay to have that removed, or you could just put, well, you don't need to put a hatch in. You'll need to repair the one that was there because it's seen better days. Yeah. Or you could choose to do something a bit more, build something on it, have the whole thing ripped out. It's entirely up to you guys. What would you like to do with it?
I've got an idea. If we're going to do escape rooms and things,
yep,
couldn't we make like a gravelled car park up there?
Yes, you could. You talked about that, didn't you?
There's a small access road.
We do have that acre of land.
You could create a small access road if you wanted to, very easily. Yeah. All you need to do is fit a gate in the fence, and you don't have to actually make the road any more than just drive over this ground here a bit, sort of thing. Dig out any of the stones.
Sort of put down some gravel or something, so that that people have, because part of an escape room experience, part of the Cold War experience will be they'll not be expecting to be bringing luxury vehicles where you'll be looking. If the worst comes to it, we can organise. There's 2 things I've thought about. The first one is we can organise that we have our own 4x4 and that we go and collect them from a point like a station where they have to park, and then we blindfold them, because that's part of the experience, that we take them blindfolded to this room and then they have to escape. And that way they don't actually know where a bunker is.
I was going to say, I do actually like that, because people might come back later on if they're like, oh, there's a bunker there, we could
exactly.
possible
yeah.
way of recruiting as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the second, so for that we could maybe get a 4x4 or something, so that you're bringing in, you've got some way of bringing in small groups. The
Gonna
second
move you
idea I
over
have is
to
while
the
it's getting,
operations
while
room.
we're starting work on this, if anybody wants to stay on site, as I keep saying, the bunker is not fit for human habitation. And if you start trying to live in it, somebody will report you environmental health or something similar. So what we do is we get a caravan or tents and live on the surface till it's done.
Yeah.
If you want to be on site, you get a caravan or you get tents.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
I was thinking, how far into summer are we?
Okay, so the Pandora event occurred in June. So you're still in late June at the moment.
Because if it was close to, if it was close to getting to autumn, we could think of like a haunted house type thing.
Well, that's the thing is you can do that. We can start the work. We can start the doing up the bunker theme stream. We can do the ghost hunts, which will get more and more popular as the year gets darker. And you can definitely do the escape room all year round.
Because it doesn't have to be Halloween to do a haunted house.
No, but you can't. We could because it's ours. You could do haunted Halloween walkthroughs, and you can actually do them from about mid-October.
And another idea I had was we could get some hay bales from the farmers and buy a couple of paintball guns.
Yes.
Yeah, because we're going to have to rip out a load of the walls and redo it anyway. I mean, just a rewire is going to create a significant amount of mess. So yeah, let people play paintball through it or laser tag.
These are all great ideas. Feel free to add them to your to-do list or to make notes elsewhere, whichever suits you best. So, what would you like to do as your first job, and do you want to start organising the pool for?
You guys should probably clean out all of the condoms.
Secure it and clean it. Those are the
Yeah.
first. Those
Could you
are
clear out the event area? Because that's where the old rubbish is. And it's going to be our main source of air for now.
Okay.
Can Rob use his burglary talent and sabotage to help secure the area?
Yes, you can.
Because if I know how to bypass security and stuff like that, I
You
should
would
have an
know what
idea of how to make something secure.
Yes, I absolutely agree. I think that's a very good idea, and I think I'm going to allow that. So, can I have a burglary test from you, please? That would be. Let me just have a look now.
Dexterity.
Yeah, it'd be dexterity something or other. I want a dexterity. Well, dexterity sabotage. Yes. Aye. You even told me, and my mind went blank, so I do apologise. 16. Okay, so you're taking a look at the plan with a 6. Thank you very much. Yes. So that's 1 point goes into the.
Reminding him.
Now this is interesting because we did have 2 separate complication tracks because you had split up. Now you're all back together. Let me
So
just
they
check.
combine now, don't
No, they don't. I'll scrap that one because that one was for the museum. Actually, we need a roll for that. Just give me a D6 roll if you would be so kind, please, Ben.
I want to roll a 1.
Yes.
I got
Roll
a 2.
half.
2. Okay. Let me just have a look.
Nuclear explosion overhead, we all die.
Well, definitely not because you only had 10 points in. Well, 11 points in the complications pool for that.
It was
But-
a minor nuclear explosion.
Something has just happened, so a minor problem as a result of the thing. So, Sean, what's happened is you're working away at your workshop one of these days because everybody's still currently doing your jobs because that's what your income's coming from. So, Sean, you're working away at your workshop when you are slightly concerned to see two police officers arrive. They are plainclothes detectives, but they've introduced themselves to you as the
We're
police.
looking for some guy from Glasgow.
They're asking you various questions that lead you to think they might have something about the robbery. You're racking your mind to think what have we left? What's the connection? How can they know it was us? But they're asking. They start by looking round your lockup, and they're kind of looking at under tarps and whatnot. Fortunately for you,
Really?
yeah.
Really?
Yes, they're looking under tarps and stuff. So, fortunately for you, Marie talked you out of leaving the weapons under tarps in your.
Oh, could you imagine?
So all they're currently finding is like empty things. They're also checking all the vehicles. What did you do with the stolen van?
We were meant to dispose of it,
Rab
weren't we?
disposed of it, didn't he?
Yes, sold it for parts.
Okay, you sold
The
it for
chop shop.
parts. Rab, could you increase your income by 2, please?
Lucky bastard.
Nice.
Get
Your-
rich.
Your resources, I should say. So your resources have gone up by 2 because you've sold the van for parts and for scrap. The other thing is those 2 points of resources last until you fail a resource test or until you put them into the pool, in which
Okay.
case they wouldn't come back because it's not like regular income. Okay, so
I'll put the 2 into the pool now.
cool, right, okay. Let me just copy something over for you then. So copy that into that blank space. I'll just reduce the size because it doesn't need to be like massive, does it? And copy that and paste.
Is this where you're putting the bunker points?
Yes, it is. So if somebody would like to write bunker resources in the smaller of the 2 things, I'm just going to adjust that slightly actually. The one at the top there, where we put the...
That's the title bar.
That's the title bar, that's the term I was looking for. Yes, if somebody would like to write that in the title bar, and if somebody would like to put 2 in the pool for now, please. Okay, so the first part of the bunker's resources has been donated by Rab, who sold the van that he nicked to do the job. Currently, where are the weapons stored?
It was in one of Philip's lockups, wasn't it?
That's right, it was, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so these police officers, Sean, they're kind of looking around. They're clearly looking for something. But you don't have anything incriminating here. You don't think you have anything incriminating here.
Yeah, Rab's not on site, is he?
Rab's not on site. He's got a very good way of not being there when the police arrive.
Yeah, it's a survival skill.
Yeah,
Like
pretty.
spidey senses with them.
Yeah, exactly. Aye. So eventually, one of the police officers says to you, "Mr. Gallagher, have you had any white vans come through your establishment lately?"
I'm just going to say no.
Okay.
I deal with cars. I haven't fixed any vans in ages.
Okay, give me a deception test, please.
I don't think the van ever even came anywhere close to the garage, so...
I don't think so.
It didn't.
In fact, it didn't.
It was at a warehouse and then went to the...
That's absolutely
Yeah.
right. You were very careful not to bring the van anywhere near. However, I just want to know if this guy immediately sees through Sean's fib and starts to be suspicious. If you can convince Uda.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Okay, so he can't prove anything yet, but he's not convinced by your claim that you haven't had any white vans. He kind of looks quizzically at you and says, "None at all. In the last month, you haven't had a white. The most common colour of fairly common van. Nobody's brought one in."
I can show you the actual accounts, the order book,
I was going
etc.,
to say,
and the
you-
business records.
if you can show them the accounts, you should have details written down, like the
Details of every
makes,
vehicle.
models, the license
Yep.
plates and stuff.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, let me take a look at the accounts. My sergeant here will have a look. Lewis, go and have a look. Make another persuasion test, because
Persuasion test.
obviously you wouldn't be the first person not to include something in their books that... Right, okay, this time your level of incredulity is just pitched absolutely spot on. Just incredulous enough that an innocent man would sound like that, but you haven't gone over the top to make him think only a guilty man goes that far over the top. So he's starting to doubt himself. He's starting to think, well, okay, maybe this guy's... did you hear about the job at the Hancock Museum the other night, Mr. Gallagher?
What did that in the news where somebody broke into that place?
That's right.
Yeah.
Using a monster.
Well, it's in the news.
Indeed.
And it's local. It's just like up the road. So yeah, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Terrible,
Have you got anybody? Sort of any suspects, any leads? How's it going with the investigation?
Well, it's funny you should ask, but we might have one or two suspects in mind, certainly.
But don't they have like high-tech security and stuff in a museum?
They do, but I don't know, something must have gone wrong. It's almost like whoever robbed it had even more high-tech stuff. Do you?
Really? I'm just a simple garage mechanic.
You're
I
not.
fix cars.
You're
Yeah,
not
why
into
are
your
they asking
computers
you
at
about
all.
Sorry?
Why are they asking you about it?
Yeah. Why asking me about it? Because I'm just well, yeah. Cars these days are high tech and they're black box technology, but it's a case of you plug it in and switch it on. You unplug it, you take it out, and you replace it with a new one. We don't fiddle about with the electronics inside them. We just hook it up to the machine and we do MOTs. And
Well,
the machine tells us that it's,
There's no reason
or
in
bad.
particular we're asking you. It's just
well, I haven't
we're
seen
asking
any white
everybody.
vans through here.
So, Lewis, pass me the. So you haven't seen this white van here, and it shows you a photograph of the white van that Rab Nick that you were driving. Parked at the light, well, not parked at the lights, but stopped at the lights. You remember when you had to do the emergency run to get the party out when things went a bit bad?
So it's got a picture of a white van, yeah.
Yeah. Does that?
Yeah, like you said, the most common type of van that you see in the streets.
Yeah,
So you'll
exactly.
have seen hundreds of them every week.
Yeah, you will have done, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like a white van.
It does, doesn't it?
I've seen hundreds of white vans. They're common, like you said.
Exactly. Ford Transit, them and Mercedes Sprinters, the most popular vans around. Iveco as well, of course, quite popular. But you know that better than I would, I'm sure, sir. So here's another copy of that photograph. You'll notice that this one's been blown up a little bit. Can you see the gentleman in the driving seat there, sir?
Oh no!
And they're driving. No, there's light shining off the actual windscreen. It's a bit hard to make out who that is or if it is anybody.
There is actually, speaking as a games master now, there is just enough light shining off there that you're pretty sure that could be just about anybody your height, build, and sort of hair and beard.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you can tell somebody's height. It could be on a booster seat, but never mind.
That's true.
So, yeah.
It's just, it does look very similar, sir, to yourself,
Yeah,
if you
but-
don't mind me saying.
Thing is, you can go on Facebook and you can find 1 million people that look like me.
The two officers look at each other. Make another persuasion roll.
Oh no.
You can. I'll grant you that
People
you can.
with men with beards, dark clothing. There's loads of people on there. Could be anybody, that.
Given how many hipsters have got beards.
Yeah.
What about this gentleman, sir? Ever seen him before? And he shows you a picture of Rab.
Oh no.
Be honest. Say, oh yeah, he sometimes brings in cars for repair, but I've got a bad feeling about him, so I turn them away.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to say,
Okay.
without any hesitation.
Okay, that's pretty close to true. So you can make a persuasion test this time. I've just noticed something, Sean. That last roll you gave me was a constitution test
What's that?
instead
I'm
of a
rolling on
communication
Constitution.
test.
Sorry, have I been rolling Constitution?
Yeah, you've
The last
that
twice.
roll,
Yeah.
The 2 rolls you've
Do you want
just
me to roll
done.
that again?
Yeah, please re-roll those last 2 rolls on communication.
So the first one's 11.
So
And the second one's a 10.
Okay, so that changes things a little. Okay, so you say that you've got a bad feeling about. I see. So you've never.
He's
You've
a
never.
bit of a dodgy Glaswegian type.
That's the man. Yes, absolutely. Has a bit of a record. He's been caught once or twice for taking without owner's consent.
No, I haven't.
Just leans through the window. No, I haven't.
There he is right now.
Sticks his head out the cupboard door. No, I haven't.
Wasn't it me?
Something like regular police, the fact that they said taking without honour's consent instead of twok.
Yeah.
Right. Hang on a minute. Right, so yeah, I turned him down. Okay. I fixed a couple of cars for him in the early days, and then thought he
Right.
seems not to be legit at this point.
Okay, you see the 2 officers sort of exchange glances when you say you'd fixed a couple of cars in the early days. Now, because your story's not changed exactly, but been slightly more expanded there, I'm going to give you another communication persuasion roll.
Natural 20.
Still only rolling 11s.
You're not rolling that well, are you? That's the thing. Okay. So you did fix a few cars from in the past, but you say that you've stopped doing that now, have you?
Well over a year ago. Yeah, okay. I don't do that anymore.
It's just he's been seen round here a few times as a thing, is he?
Yeah, well, there's an off license down the road.
Right, but the off licenses all over the place.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know.
I just saw what was part of the to-do list.
Get booze. Yeah. I mean, this.
You could always say you think he's been casing a property in the area. You could say
Just what I was about to say. I mean, you know, this area is not a poor residential area, really, is it? And I mean, if he's a petty thief, why would he not be around here casing people?
Okay, again, because there's a lot of truth involved in this, I'm going to give you a bonus to your communications test this time.
666.
Well, the bonus was plus.
That to-do list is definitely coming true.
Yeah, the bonus
Yeah.
was +2, so that would make that. Let me think a moment.
11.
11.
At least I'm
Okay.
consistent. It's a consistent story.
It is a
Yeah.
consistent story,
True.
which it is in itself worth something at least. You're not convincing them. You can tell that these guys are still a little bit suspicious, but you're also not giving them anything that they can immediately pick up on as a falsehood. They've got no evidence, so they are a little bit on the frustrated side. Well, yes, there is. There are certain areas around here, things worth taking, I suppose. So,
You don't think he was involved in the theft at the museum, do you?
they kind of glance at each other. What makes you think that, sir?
Well, you're asking me first about a robbery at a museum, and then you're asking me about a guy who's known for being a criminal.
Okay, fair enough. I can see
Why
why
would I
you-
not put 2 and 2 together on that basis? I'm not thick, you know, right? But he doesn't seem to. I wouldn't have said he was the type. Well, I don't know. I mean, do you think he's the type to do that? It's a museum. I mean, what's he going to steal from a museum?
Do you know there's just enough bluster in amongst that I'm going to give you a communication deception roll at +1. This really was.
Hey!
For God's
Stand-
sakes. I think something's been rigged with your dice.
Okay. Okay, so the +1 takes it up to a 12 at least. Okay, so you can see they're still not convinced. They're pretty sure that you've had something to do with this, you think. But they've got no way of proving it at the moment. Everything you're coming back with is not convincing them, but you can see that they're thinking to themselves, yeah, but it would give just enough doubt to a jury that would never
Well,
get
the
this
thing,
past.
thing is as well, look, with policing, it's supposed to be based on what they do know rather than what they
They
don't know.
don't know, that's right, exactly.
No. Good luck with the evidence.
Well, thank you very much for your time, sir.
All right, you're welcome. You're not going to leave me a card just in case I think of anything else?
I will indeed. Here's my card, just in
Yeah,
case you
alright,
think of
well,
anything else. And I don't want to sound too melodramatic or as if I've been watching too many police shows, but don't leave Newcastle for the, or at least the northeast, Northumbria, for the immediate, in the immediate future. What do you say?
Well, why would I've got work to do? I've got these cars to fix. You know, it's a business. If I don't work, I don't eat.
Yes.
You know, I
Well.
got to pay my rent and what have you.
Yes, and your tax bill as well, says Lewis, who's been looking over your accounts. That should be fun.
Well,
Yeah,
you
that
know,
would be for the HMRC, not the police.
Yes,
yeah, that's a civil matter.
indeed.
Exactly, civil matter, not a criminal one.
No, I just happened to be passing comment on the fact that their self-assessment will be due soon.
Yeah, well, I'll be talking to my accountant.
There might be 1 or 2 gaps in these books, is all I thought.
Really?
Well, it's common to, busy man like yourself, sir. Sometimes you don't get time to write something in the books when you should, and work comes in, time rolls on, things get forgotten. You see what I mean?
County doesn't have the right to say those things to you.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, he doesn't.
He doesn't have a warrant to be looking through stuff as well, so
Didn't need to. He asked.
I volunteered that information,
Yeah.
but that was volunteered information.
Anyway,
I'm not
thank you
under
very
arrest.
much.
It
You're
can't
not.
be used as evidence against me.
That's right. You're not, and it can't. Well, thank you very much, sir. We'll leave you to get on with fixing your cars. And the two leave and get back into the car. You can see them having a bit of a conversation with one another. You can make a intelligence empathy test if you want to try and get an idea of what they are.
It's perception, not the...
Perception, sorry, yes. Do that every week. Every week I get the wrong one for that.
Still not rolling high here.
No, but actually that's the first time you've rolled anything that was high enough to succeed today. Okay. From the body language as they sit in the car and from the odd word you pick up as they mouth it, you're pretty sure they think you were involved somehow. You can't work out beyond this photograph what might have put them onto you, so you think it can only be that. You're pretty sure the photograph is too fuzzy to be any use in a court, and from what you're picking up from them, their level of frustration tells you that they also think they can't prove it's you, but they think you were involved.
I do have a backup story.
Cool. You can tell me if you want to, or you can keep it in reserve for later so that the Games Master can't inadvertently come up
Yeah.
with.
Oh, yeah. See, I have a backup plan.
Okay, so having had that near brush with the police, and despite your roles not being good enough to convince them, they were also not bad enough to wind up in prison. That has drained the complication pool from the robbery down to 0, so there'll be no further complications from that for now. But the rest of you do have a bit of a build-up forming. So we're going to cut back to the... Well, first of all, we're going to say, while we're here doing the bunker pool, we'll say Rab doesn't put that sort of 2 in until it's necessary, because your first job's going to be to clean it up. It's not going to cost you much to clean it up.
How much would it be to rent every room in the B&B that we stayed at? And how many rooms is
Just thinking that through. Just give me a second. To rent. Well, there's probably about 8 rooms in the B&B, so there's probably going to be enough for you. So you just want to hire the whole B&B. How long for?
Just till it's comfortable enough so that you can stay in the bunker.
Until the end of the apocalypse.
Maybe
Sure.
a couple of weeks.
So you're wanting to do this instead of the caravan and camping, right? Okay, I can see the logic of that. Okay, just give me a second to find it then. So it's a week's lodging. So we'll bring up the rule book and I will look under resources. About the only thing I didn't sort of pre-prep myself on. I didn't expect that. You've caught me on the hop. So equipment.
What was the other idea? Did you say camping?
Yeah, Marie mentioned camping or hiring a caravan.
Right.
This
Not sure that
option,
would be
This
secure.
This
enough.
option will be-
hiring or buying a caravan and sticking it on site solves our accommodation problems till we get the bunker fixed up.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because we've all got homes to go to. We'll all only be working for it a few days at a time.
Yeah.
So
Alright, okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Pretend you're having a holiday.
Am I still looking this up or are you scrapping that idea?
I'm scrapping.
Okay. Okay, no problem. So the first week you're going to be largely just cleaning the place up. You clean the place up, you get it. All the disgusting stuff you found in here is gone. All the muck and the condoms and the beer bottles and everything like that. You manage to clean all that off. You're checking out the furniture. You decide which is too dangerous to keep. You're going to have to get rid, and which you can keep for the time being, for your plans. So you've got like you're going to need a scrap man probably. Let's see. So
They just take it, don't they?
yeah.
I'm guessing Thomas might know one.
Would
Thomas
I not
would
have
definitely
some sort of truck of
Yes.
my own?
Yeah, you could do.
I just pick it up and take it to this tip.
Okay, you pick it up and take it to the tip. Can I ask you what the next job's going to be? Do you want to go and take a look at the bunker again?
Yeah.
So you've cleaned it up, and that's taken you like the first. With all of you still working your day jobs as well. I'm going to say does a week. There are 6 of you. Week sound long enough, or should it be 2? Do you think?
A week to clean the place is probably enough.
And we can get help from family and friends.
You can actually, yes. You can get help from
And we
family
can-
and friends because
And we can do things like bring in a power washer, stuff like that. Because
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thomas has got a garage, he'll have a power washer.
Actually, yes. So I'll not need to charge you for the power washer because Thomas will have one he can bring in. Okay.
I'll also have probably welding gear,
Yes.
Probably have a look at
definitely.
the generator then.
all the tools and what have you. So which one's the generator?
Okay, so this
big one
one's
on
the
the far
generator
left.
here. Yeah.
So at the western end.
Yes. That's right.
That one.
Yes.
Yeah. So this generator, is it up to scratch and would it do for the moment, or do we need to strip that down completely? Strip it out, scrap it.
It's old. It dates back to not quite as far as you might imagine. It dates back to about 1998. So
1998.
by which time the Cold War was... Actually, no, they wouldn't have replaced that when it went into councils. So this one's about the 1980s. It dates back to the 1980s. So
Yeah.
it is serviceable if you fixed it. It would need some work.
Right. Okay. Need some work to fix. Is it? See, on an estimate of looking at it,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
based on technical knowledge on machinery, etc.
Yep.
that I have.
Yep.
Is it worth fixing?
That's a good question.
Could fabricate parts for it. That's not a problem. Would presume there'd be some website online which would how to strip and rebuild this particular make and model of
Mhm.
antique generator.
Given that you can fabricate a lot of the parts, you reckon Yes, I think
And
you
the
could.
thing that we'll be able to do is if we can get serial numbers, make some model, that type of thing, we'd probably look at blueprints
Mhm.
from somewhere, whether
Yeah,
it's
you
a
can.
local library or technical or whoever the manufacturer used to be.
Yeah, would somebody
There'll
like?
be a patent somewhere.
Yes, would somebody like to give me a computing? So that would be intelligence computing roll, please. It's a fairly routine search, Google search. So I'm going to say your target number is
Got
11.
intelligence 3 and research 2. Does that work?
You can use your research instead. Yes, you can use your research instead of computing.
There you go.
Jesus.
21.
Right.
He actually
Okay.
manages to find one for sale for 1 resource point.
Well, you do have 5 stun points, so how would you like to use the stun points?
Would that be
Exploration stunts, I think, are probably the best bet for this.
Yeah. He's going to seduce.
Setting yourself up to more success later. When a plan comes together, 2 in that and 1 in stitching time.
Okay, would you like to read those out so that the...
Oh wait, no, actually,
That's okay.
I'm going to do pay dirt. Would that work? In the
Yeah.
course of your endeavor, you win a bet. Happen across a conveniently abandoned briefcase of cash, or discover something valuable, can pawn off and make book. Temporarily gain 1 research point per SP spent. I'll spend all 3. Increase that lasts until the next fail of a resource.
Okay, so what you've found online, okay, is not only the blueprints for one of these and the instructions for how to repair common problems and whatnot. You have also found somebody who was trying to buy one or parts of one to repair his, because he also owns a bunker down south. He's offering quite a lot of money, 3 resource points. So you're left with the question of, do I sell him this one for the 3 research points and then we'll buy our own, or do I do something else? What would you like to do?
Well, how much does a modern generator
I was going to say, could I have a little Google for like a new one?
You can make another Google for that. Passed. Okay.
Another 5 stun points.
And another 5 stun points. You're quite right. So how would you like to spend those 5 stun points?
I can't add any more to paid dirt. It says that at the end. So, you put the effort in setting yourself.
Is this not a different role, though?
This is a different
it
role.
is.
It is.
So you can rebuy. Yes.
So if I
only
just
on-
put another 3 in there, that gives me 6
Okay.
on top of my thing for buying a new one.
Okay, so
Am I single-handedly going to buy the new generator?
what's happened as you've continued to search, you've looked for new generators, right? You happen to have stumbled across a place that's selling a particular type of generator at a knockdown price, and you also happen to know somebody else who wants one and doesn't know about this place selling them for the knockdown price. So what you do is you buy a new generator, you sell it to the other guy who wanted it, hence you get the plus 3 off that one, right? And yeah, so now you've got plus 3. Are you putting that straight in the bunker pool?
Yeah, I'll put the initial 3, 3 into the bunker pool.
Okay.
So that's 5.
So if you want to change that to 5 from 3, so you've now bought a generator and sold it on for a profit.
Okay.
Whilst researching the old generator that you've got, you've found this guy who's interested in buying it. If you sell it to him, you will get another, a base of 3 resource points, plus whatever deal you come to. Now,
Will he pick it up?
You can ring him and ask.
Okay, I'll ring him.
Okay. You ring him and tell him you've got one of these in a bunker that you've bought. He's particularly interested in restoring his, rather than converting it. He's trying to restore it to the way it would have been at the time. So he's interested in giving you 3 resource points over what it might necessarily normally
The parts
have
that he
come to.
needs. Okay.
Yeah. He will collect it. He's quite happy to come and get it.
Okay.
And if you do sell it, I'm going to say you would have got a resource point anyway, plus 3 from your pay dirt. That would give you another 4.
Okay.
It would mean you've got no power except the solar panel thing that Erin bought. But it would give you 6 points in the bunker, and it would have cost you at least that to repair it, you think.
Okay.
So it's up to you. What do you want to do?
I'll do that.
Okay. You can add another 4 points to the bunker's resources then.
I'm going to add 3 and keep 1. Is that okay?
Yeah.
For myself?
Yeah.
So that's
Why
8.
not? You've done the work putting it in. Okay, so the bunker's resource points is currently up to 8. Which means you can probably buy a modern generator with that. You can definitely buy a modern generator with that. And it's not going to deplete your resources any. However...
Why do I always end up the money guy in these games?
Yeah. However, what we should probably do is work out what other jobs you want to do this month and who's putting what in the resource pool.
Okay.
Well, I was going to put 3 in from mine.
Okay, so Jenny, do you want to change that 8 to a 11?
You'd have to make that thing editable by everyone.
That should already be editable, but no, it won't be. Will it? Hold on, then I'll do it. I'll just delete that and type 11 in
Alright,
there.
okay.
So draw text. There we go. I'll do that. Will be 11. We said that would take it up to,
11,
didn't we?
yeah.
Okay, so oh shit, that didn't go where I meant it to go, did it? Look at that. Okay, there we go. Ben, how much are you putting in the resource pool? Remember, anything you put in the pool comes off your personal one for the month.
To be honest, I was thinking instead of putting resources in the pool, I could go out and look for specific items and try and get a deal on them. It might cost less.
Okay, yeah, can do that. Erin, we've already seen. Thomas, do you want to put anything in?
I was going to put 2 in.
2 in, right you are. Let me just edit that to 13.
On your wish list for the bunker,
Mhm.
here we've got things like tools for fixing stuff. Don't really need any tools for fixing stuff, do we?
You don't. You've got all the tools you're likely to need.
And I've
So
probably
that
got
can
enough
come off.
cable of a sufficient grade to rewire the place.
Mhm.
Possibly.
Now that's an interesting point.
Yeah, because that's if the expensive things for a rewire are the cable
Yes.
and the labour.
Yes.
Now, a lot of the labour is wrangling out, carving out the walls to basically put the cables in.
Yeah.
And you can save yourself a lot of money if you carve the places for the electrician to put the wiring through yourself.
Yeah.
So.
Because then all he comes in does is he comes in, he lays the wires, he wires them up, and this could be treated like house bashing, where it'd be done in a day and a half, if we cut the channels for the wiring. But if they have to come in and dig out concrete walls on their own, you're looking at least a week. And
Bear in mind, it's
probably-
worse than that. This is rebar reinforced blast concrete.
yeah, they'll have specialist tools and drills for that.
With a
You're looking
pneumatic
at
drill.
7 to
though.
10 days, a specialist electrician, and that's probably, can you tell I did this a long while ago for a living? Back at the early 90s, that would have cost you somewhere in the region of £800 a day.
Hmm.
Really?
So
Quick.
you could
Yeah.
probably put that up to somewhere in the region of £1,500 a day.
Could somebody give me an intelligence evaluation or intelligence electronics or intelligence engineering roll, please?
I only have tinkering.
You can use that as well, actually. Yes, that's fine.
You never use that, right? Okay,
Yes, I
I'll do
will for this.
that. There you go.
Okay, so, and there's a
Good
6.
roll.
That is a good roll. What you've noticed
Under 6.
is that the armored concrete, which was designed to survive a nuclear blast, will have a lot of rebar through the middle. Digging into concrete is always chancy anyway, because you can crack panels of it. Something always goes wrong when you dig into concrete.
Yeah.
So you're thinking to yourself, the best bet would be to do as little digging in as possible.
Right.
Also, a lot of the wiring in these bunkers was never behind the walls in the first place. They run through conduits up the wall. They're still there, but they are old and they are in bad condition. However, modern plastic conduits would do the job nicely, be a lot cheaper than digging into the concrete.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
There's already tracking for the cables.
Yes,
And we just need to replace it.
that's right, you do.
Yeah.
Hold up. Wait.
Mhm.
Sorry, Brian.
No, go ahead.
You remember... Oh, sorry, you're actually talking.
No, go ahead.
Okay. On the map, on the top right side, there was a giant roll of copper wiring, wasn't there?
Yes.
Is that like electronics wiring? Because you could use all that. It's
Is that
literally
power
in the
ca-
bunker for us, isn't it?
You could use that. The thing we're currently looking at, though, is not the wiring, it's the conduit and to put the wiring in, rather than trying to dig out
right.
the concrete. Because obviously you can't have
Okay.
bare wire just running around the place.
Well, health and safety will have a field day.
What's the
Yeah.
floor made out of?
Concrete.
Oh.
So is the ceiling, everything concrete.
So rebar concrete.
So rebar concrete. Because this was designed to survive a nuclear attack on RAF Boomer just up the coast.
Maybe you could put paneling on the ceiling if I don't know how tall the ceiling is though.
So when
about
it's
2.5
going
meters.
ping, ping, ping as the life forms are coming towards you, and then they've come through the door, but you can't see them.
Yeah.
They're in the ceiling space.
Yes. You must be reading it wrong. That would put them inside the room. Okay, no, I mean, plastic conduit's common enough, Chris. If you have a look around Pact, you'll notice a lot of the rooms where the rewiring didn't go into the walls. It's in
Oh,
plastic.
that stuff. That's what.
Yeah,
it is.
Around the side near the fridges.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, the dado rail's all the same kind of plastic conduit, and that's why it's got all the plug points in it. You could just use that. You would still have to buy it. It'll be a lot cheaper than digging out the concrete, though. It's
I want to
entirely
get
up
a
to
new
you.
aircon. That's what I want to go and do.
Okay. So, let's just finish up figuring out how much money you've got to play with then. So I'll go back to the thingy thing. So, currently the bunker has a resources of 13. Maria, are you adding anything to it?
Well, my resources are only 2, but I can put 1 in for me and 1 in for Vicky.
Okay, you and Vicky are putting a point in each. Okay.
But what we'll do is, because my job is mostly, I do some training and I do the events, I'll have more free time so I can put in more labour
Okay, no
for
problem.
cleaning, things like that, you know.
I think I know the answer. Oh, well, Rab's already put in the profits from his last robbery, hasn't
Yeah.
he? So is that everybody, or is there anybody else wants to put anything into
Does
the...
Philip or Helen want to put out in?
You've not seen Helen since the robbery. She just disappeared off the grid.
Is my girlfriend still working for one
Yes.
month?
Yes, she is.
So
They're
she
very
having
busy at the minute. There's an awful lot of calls as people panic every time they get ill, as people keep thinking they see these creatures around. The number of robberies has increased as well, especially against shops and businesses and museums.
The Rab's been.
Yeah. Bearing in
But
mind.
if you're asking...
Fine.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go on.
If you're asking that to say, can she put some in? She can put 2 points in as well if you want.
Okay.
17 we're up to then. Okay,
So probably need to go on a food run again at this point as well.
Well,
It's fine.
my character's dad could maybe put some in, and he works as a joiner, so he could help with doing some stuff.
right, okay. So if he works as a joiner, I'm going to say he can put 2 in.
Yeah.
But that represents as much the work that he's doing for you as well as the actual
Right.
cash.
How old's your
Yeah.
little brother?
12.
Is he too young
He
for
can
like
walk in a street
leafleting or
corner.
something?
Is he too young to put money? What are you going to have him do? Sweep chimneys?
Leafleting.
Mine.
He's going to walk the streets.
Oh,
No,
Would
he
my
can help lift and shift stuff.
Oh yeah, you can help. Yeah, you can help.
Okay, no
He's,
worries.
he's the carpenter's apprentice.
Yeah, pretty much.
Bob could maybe use him as a runner when he's like out relocating people's wallets to the projects.
Guessing Joe's single then.
Okay,
No
so
one-
for the first month, Joe's single. Yeah. Well, unless you count Philip. You've got 19. That's quite a lot for the first month.
Yes.
Of that, 3 of those points won't expire unless they're actually spent. So that stands you in good stead. Which are the first few jobs you would like to do in the bunker?
Bryan,
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I know me and my parents aren't in good standing, but do you reckon my very rich parents might put anything in?
Are your parents very rich? Is that in your background?
Yeah, I said they owned a law firm. We live in a
Okay.
nice part of
What-
Newcastle.
what
I
i-
was imagining my-
What is your background?
My personal background,
Mhm.
I'm I
Thief.
think I'm middle.
Middle class. Okay.
I think so.
They might
right.
be able to put some money in. You're going to have to talk them into it. You're not on great terms with them.
What kind of law firm?
Yeah, because
Um,
there are decent law firms and then there are Hadaway and shites.
The reason why I kept the money. I'll let Ben finish this thing.
I was kind of imagining like my parents being quite wealthy, and then they kind of like disowned me because I got into like a bad crowd, and I started to make my own way, and like I started to make my own money as a criminal.
That's exactly what happened with Ab as well.
Okay,
Probably
yes.
actually-
Yes, and would you like to give them a call and see if you can scam them out of some cash?
Yeah.
Probably have to build up their relationship like I did with the Expanse.
Absolutely. Okay, so you ring your parents. They're a bit guarded. What are you going to say?
Hi, Mom.
Joe, is that you?
It is.
And hear your dad in the background go, "What's the little fucker want this time?"
How have you and Dad been?
Oh, you know, we're fine. Dad's got a bit of a prostate problem. Don't tell him that, for God's sake.
Tell him I'm thinking of him. Buy him a cushion for me.
Oh, we've bought him a cushion already. Ring of Fire, he calls it. Don't, what are you... Just hang up on him. Stop talking about my bottom.
I just wanted to call you guys, ask how you've been. You know, just like
Just ask him how much he wants to borrow this time.
Funny you should ask that, actually.
And there we have it. See, I told you, Audrey. I told you.
Mate, I've met a couple people on the railway since the day of, you know, everything going bad.
Yes, yes.
And
Were those nice people that got you out of there alive?
yeah, it was they're lovely people. They saved, well, I saved their life, but you know, whatever.
Oh, God. Tell them just to get to the numbers.
I need a little amount of money so we can secure our place. You know what? If you guys offer a significant amount, we might even let you in. You know, you would be perfectly safe.
Would be perfectly safe.
You'd be perfectly safe. We've got concrete walls. We're gonna have a helicopter. We're gonna have an armory.
Oh, did you say a helicopter?
A helicopter.
Let's say he's having this conversation in front of everyone, and we're just rolling our eyes.
Yeah.
We've already got ourselves. We're gonna get weapons.
What's the
See,
idiot
we've
bought a
already-
bunker?
You know these fuckers. We've already killed a couple of them. You remember? Actually, no. I'm not going to say that. I was going to mention the one in there.
Yeah,
The
keep
museum,
it to him,
but I'm
you
not
know.
mentioning that
We
one.
don't know who's listening.
Yeah, I was like, we've already killed a bunch of them. Some of them with our hands. So you'd be safe with us.
You've killed a bunch of them. Yes, of course you have. Of course you have.
Mm.
Your mother's like, oh, that's nice to you. Well, it's not nice to kill things. It's not nice, but I understand you had to.
Listen, guys. I'm kind of a leader figure here, and everyone relies.
There's laughing in
There's
the
just a
background.
massive roar of laughter in the background.
Is that
These
people
people-
laughing in the background, eh?
No. They're watching TV.
Yes, it is.
Oh, she sounds nice.
people-
Who's she?
These people. Oh, lovely lass. I met her at a bar. She only kicked me in the nuts a couple times.
Oh, you met her at a bar, right? Yeah. That's that sort issue, dear. You should steer clear of that sort, you know. You meet in bars.
Mom, she's clean. I already asked her.
Oh, you don't ask somebody something like that, Joe. What is wrong with you? Oh, I know there's plenty wrong with him.
I'm
To
going to get my
think he's
baseball
one of
bat ready.
In the background, you can see that Erin's now taking a few practice swings with a baseball bat.
Batter up.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just
To
going to
get,
shove
to
him
get
out the
down
way
a
and
point.
sweep the floor where he's standing.
Okay. Lizzie shoves you out the way and sweeps the floor where you're standing with a broom.
Rude. Yeah, to get down to point, we need a little bit of cash just to get this place up
You
and
did
going, 'cause
mention
it's in
that.
a bit of a state.
Okay, how
Wait.
much do you want?
How rich are my parents, would you say? I
They're,
don't want to ask for like their whole savings.
they're upper middle class, so you're probably talking. Let me just have a look
Six.
at the resources.
What would be
Yeah,
what would
about
be their
6.
resource?
Their resources are probably about 6 each, so about 12 for the household.
6 each, Jesus.
Well, you did say
I'd
they were
say-
both lawyers,
Mm,
which means
I
you,
could
your
have to
Make them
mother's
sign a contract.
your mother's ditzy mom sort of act. You know is absolutely an act. You know if you borrow money from her, she will make you sign a contract.
I'm kind of wanting to ask for 6, to be honest. But I feel like that's a lot of money to ask.
Well, that's half their income. I would say that's quite
Yeah.
a lot.
I'll ask
Ask,
for 3 points.
pitch it.
I'll ask
Ben.
for 3 points, but I am offering them to come live with us as well, you know. Genuine offer. Half genuine.
3 points. So about okay.
I can imagine in the background his father's going, absolutely not.
You can hear your mother go, I see you would like to borrow that much, would you? Just a moment. And you can hear her talking to your dad. Your idiot son would like to borrow. And she gives the number, and your dad goes, oh, he would he? I tell you what, why don't we tell him to fuck off? We can't say that to him, and stop. No, less of that language. Less of that. You wouldn't use it in court. You don't use it in the house. So I've actually said worse things in court than I would ever dare say in the house. But okay. And for the next 5 minutes, you're hanging on the line where they have this kind of minor back and forth. Eventually, your mother comes back on and says, I'm terribly sorry. Your dad and I have discussed it, and we don't really think we'd be able to lend you that kind of money for a couple of reasons. First of all, let's be honest, you don't have the best record of paying it back, and then you do have a tendency to get yourself into trouble whenever you're borrowing money or whenever you have money.
Mom, I know this is different.
Yes, you always say that. Though,
This
don't
is
you?
a
You always say
business.
it's different.
We're investing in this bunker. We're gonna have like shows online. We're gonna do all sorts of like spooky rooms. We're gonna make money.
You hear your dad in the background go, whoa, 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 wait a minute. Did he say shows online? Ask him more about that. Your mother goes, so tell me about your little shows then, Joseph.
Well, we're gonna be streaming all the people getting scared. We're gonna do compilations. We're gonna We're gonna have like, maybe a bit of show and tell, a bit of history. So it'll be educational as well, Mum.
And you know how to monetize your YouTube videos, do you?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, we've got experts at that with us right now.
And how much are you paying these experts?
Nothing. That's the best part.
And why are they doing it for nothing?
Because we're getting this bunker sorted,
I see.
and they're going to live. We're all going to live together in this bunker. This is just to help fund the bunker.
Parents are probably like, right
It's a
age, I
hippie
think.
commune.
So you've bought a bunker and you're going to turn it into some kind of bizarre sex cult commune.
There's no sex, Mum. We've already tried that. It doesn't work.
Oh my God.
Starting to sound like my mum
You
now.
can hear your dad,
my
dad in the
God.
background going, did he just say he's tried it and it hasn't worked? So, with all the research he did as a teenager, I would imagine he must know how it's done by now. Surely.
You can see him on his fans only page.
Having said that, right, we could probably, while we're doing it up, we could probably hire it out to the kind of people who film that kind of video.
Probably.
We don't have to do it. We could just say, yes, there you go, it's all yours. We're all going to be down the pub, drinking away the memory of this. By the way, use the power washer after you're done.
I'm really regretting that UV light now.
Aw.
Tell you what, Mum. How about you and Dad come along? We'll show you around, and then you'll get a better feel for the place, so you'll know it'll be a good investment.
At least we've
There's
got all
no-
the old
there's no
used
use me
condoms and
just-
broken bottles before you invite two lawyers into the place.
There's no use describing it online. It'll be better in person.
Make a no, I don't mean constitution. Make this because we got into that mistake earlier. Make a communication persuasion test for me, please.
Don't think I am very good at that.
And send her an emailed link to email her a
Oh
link
my
to her
God.
YouTube walkthrough.
Oh, nah.
Send her some flowers.
Okay, so you've rolled a 9.
Nine.
9. We're very busy, Joseph. I tell you what, why don't you put a business plan together, come back to us in a month's time, see what we can do for you then.
Fine.
That was
And
perfect.
scene.
Petulant teenager. Fine. That was perfect.
By the way, I was wondering, have you been getting any culture lately?
Any culture? I mean, I've had a couple Asians, but
Oh my
You've
God.
been hiding out people from the towns in Scotland. You've been to the museum.
No, don't.
That's all right. Yeah, actually, a couple of days ago, when I went to the museum.
Yes, that's what I thought. Did you enjoy your visit?
It was lovely. I loved seeing all of the
Stuffed animals.
Weapons.
knives. Yeah, the really long ones, the really short ones. Really interesting visit.
Big fat hairy ones.
I thought you might be interested in the weaponry. Yes, you always have had an unhealthy interest in it. Anyway, like I say, put a business plan together. Get back to us next month. We'll see what we can do for you. You notice that, like,
Alright.
your mother's ditzy mom act has completely slipped and she's gone into full, like, corporate lawyer. Get us a business plan. We'll see what we can do for you.
Well, it was nice talking to you guys.
Yes,
You
nice
know,
talking to
you're
you.
Always,
Nice talking
you're
to you
always
too,
welcome
son.
for lunch.
Well, we'll see what we can do. Maybe we'll maybe come for lunch after you've submitted that business plan. That way we can talk it over with you.
And then I'm just gonna hang up.
Right, meanwhile, what's everybody else been doing other than rolling around
so-
laughing?
My job is basically this furthering research alien life. That's my actual job right now, I guess.
It is.
So I would like to do some roles for that.
Yep, go ahead.
I did actually wanna come with him there.
You want to come to work with us, okay?
Okay, he did say he wanted to come
Yeah.
and hang out at the lab.
Because he was snooping, yes.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
Oh, it's bring your burglar to work day.
You have the where's the doctor's one? Is it in chapter 3? Research, there it is.
Yes, the research ones.
Sample analysis. Okay. So Sally Fielding was, I can't remember what they were researching now.
Let me just have a look. Yeah, go ahead.
Remember, Chris, I managed to get some samples of that rock dude.
Yes, you haven't tested the samples of the rock grub yet, have you?
Yeah, Adele Harper hasn't got anything to research at the moment, so she could have that.
Okay, I just need to find...
She specialises in animal, but I don't know, she might be able to, I guess.
Well, the
Is
rock
it
grub
animal,
is an
vegetable,
animal.
or mineral?
It's an animal. So,
It's life, Jim, but not as we know it.
it. Okay, so I'm struggling to find group inventory, code of conduct, player characters, non-player characters, chapter 1. So it'll be in
It's in chapter 3 in research, and then it's on sample analysis.
Sample analysis. There we go. So I'll just pop that out over onto another screen. Except what I've done there is not popping it out. Come on, you little bugger. Right, go over there. Out the way. Go on. Shoo. Over the screen too. Right, let's have a look at the sample analysis then. Let me see. What have you already found out?
So we've the acid. What is it? We're looking at Man of War. We've got to threshold. I think it's a threshold 20, is there?
On the
I
Man of
don't
War
think we-
was that?
Yeah.
Let me just have a look at that. So I need to open the samples. So there is.
You can actually check out what we
Yes,
got,
there
can't
is
we?
more to learn about that one.
Man of
Okay.
War sample. Yeah, we got a threat. We actually got threshold 15. We didn't get
So
20 yet.
Professor Lindsay was doing the Man of War.
Okay, make a
result.
roll.
Which one is it?
That would be a biology roll, intelligence biology.
I think you have. It just opens to another link. Oh, so for me, is it just me doing it, or is it Professor Lindsay?
It's up to you.
It would be
You're lead on the
Professor
project.
Lindsay. Sorry, yeah.
You're assigning Professor Lindsay to that one. Okay, just give me a second and I'll find Professor Lindsay and I will make... Ah, interesting. Right, okay. Why do we not have an entry for that?
I'm pretty sure you had like
I'll roll it.
a sheet.
Yeah, it's in here somewhere, but it doesn't seem to be on the master sheet, which I thought I'd gone through, made sure everything was up to date, but clearly I haven't done quite as complete a job as I thought. So let me see now. That's chapters, groups, code of conduct, characters, rules, channel 1, creatures of the universe, characters, professor. Actually, is the professor's stats not mentioned in the...
Intelligence 3, yeah, it's Intelligence 3, Biology 3, and
there
then...
you are.
Ooh.
It's an inline roll, you just need to click it. 18, that's a pass, and with 2 stunt points. So, that's only 2 gets added into the thingy thing, but I'm going to use 2 for... let me just have a look. So, the professor's been studying that all week, so he actually probably gets a couple of rolls. So that's a pass with 2 stunt points. I'm going to check with 2 stunt points first. I think is probably the way to go. So, grappling, exploration, investigation stunts. There we go. 2 points. Aha! The professor reveals an additional useful fact about an object. There you go, you've got it. I'm going to say that will give you the 21st point then. So the sample on the Man of War, let me just grab breakthrough. The professor's really excited. You come in, the professor's really excited to see you. And it says, have something that's going to interest you. Come and have a look at this. You go over and have a look at the professor's computer. He starts pulling up the files on the Man of War. What is discovered is as follows. It says heavy metals in there. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be heavy metals. Okay, so you remember we mentioned that there were higher levels of heavy metal in the creature's blood. Well, what we know from that is the environment that this thing comes from. It's without a doubt, it's definitely not terrestrial, but we kind of already knew that. What we do know from this is the atmosphere is likely to be a very, very different composition to our own. I would say that it's likely to be at least somewhat toxic to terrestrial life. Just breathing the air is liable to be toxic. Furthermore, the creature is likely to be resistant to a lot of our own toxins because they exist in a world in which it's just in the atmosphere. So they're going to be resistant to heavy metal poisonings in particular, so lead poisoning and so on.
Interesting.
So, as I mentioned, there's no doubt that the creature's definitely not from Earth, while our environment is not universally hostile to the creature. It's definitely colder than the region it's used to. Our temperate regions, such as here, are certainly colder than the creature's used to. It's not really likely to survive long, prolonged periods of our winter, frankly. Now, having said that, they are likely to adapt to our lower levels of heavy metals in the food chain, but not without some minor difficulties. So I think you're going to find that the things start to suffer, at least initially, from the lack of heavy metals in the food chain that they're more used to. This will be largely mitigated if they start feeding on some of their native prey, though, whatever that might be. Now, we did find some things in the stomach contents, so when we started thinking about native prey, we thought it might be a good idea to see what it eats. Now, some of the things we found in the stomach contents are terrestrial, probably human, I'm afraid to say. Definitely some dog in there as well. But we found some meats in there that are also high in heavy metal concentrations. So it definitely is, or definitely has fed on something from its own world within the last week. Now, this thing was killed on the first night of the event, though, so it might have eaten it before it crossed. Might have eaten it after.
Yeah, it makes sense why there were so many in the underground then.
Absolutely. These things will be the voracious eaters, I would imagine. They're going to be hunting for something. They appear to be carrion eaters, we think. Also, one thing I think we should probably make known to the general public is that due to the amount of heavy metals in this creature, in its cells, they are going to be toxic to terrestrial life forms. So don't eat them would be my advice, but dogs and other animals that are a bit less fussy might poison themselves if they come across, dead members of this thing and sort of eat the corpse, as dogs are wont to do, cats as well. But yeah, these things are going to be somewhat toxic to humans and terrestrial animals in general.
Okay. I'm thinking, guys, possibly like liquid nitrogen or ice traps of some form.
And this is frozen.
Yep.
No, I mean my.
I know.
My handout is frozen. Right, okay, so I can now copy paste that into. There we go. Sorry, it got very sluggish there for a moment. Just roll 20, nothing else. There we go. I've updated that handout for you there. I'll just hit the shorter players again just to be so anybody can read it if they'd like to. So that's what you've learned about the Man of War. You're pretty sure it's given up all the secrets it's going to.
Okay. I'll probably get Joe to give the sample that he got to Adele Harper.
Okay. So you're going to do a sample analysis, or Adele Harper's going to start a sample analysis on that one. So Adele, it's biology, and she has a specialization in animals. Oh, that's a fairly poor. Oh, look at that double one. So
Wow.
that's actually a
Still
fail.
a 12.
So
God.
she's a bit tired at the moment. She's been working quite sort of flat out.
I'm going to assist with this one then.
Actually, wait a minute. 12 would still be over average. And no, this is a challenging test. You can assist if you want to. Yep. Go ahead and make a roll of your own.
Okay. I'm guessing it's biology and research, just research.
Just biology. Intelligence biology, please. 13. So that is a pass. It's 1 point more than she got, and she missed it by 1. So what happens when two people work together is we take the highest dice roll, but we also take the highest stunt dice number. However, nobody's stunted, so it doesn't matter. Well, it does a little bit, because stunt dice is how we decide how far in your sample analysis you've got.
She got a 4.
Yeah. She got a 4, sorry? Oh, sorry, yes,
Yeah,
I'm looking
4
at the
stunt.
wrong. You're quite right, Ben, thank you, yes. So that's 4 stunts. So we are going to add... I need to write in here 4. That tells... Oh, fucking, I've done it again. Always want to hit return on there. Okay, so you've got 4 points in the rock grub so far. We know that on the Man of War you got the full 20, so there's nothing left to learn about them. Where are we at with the other samples?
Jello is on just a 5, and the acid is on a 10.
We need way more in that jello then.
Okay, so which would you like to have somebody working on?
Sally Fielding was working on the Jello. So try that one
Sally
again.
Fielding, so that's intelligence.
Chemistry.
Well, she can use either biology, or
biology,
chemistry
yeah.
for this one, so I'll go with chemistry. That's 16, and that's 6 in the stunt points. So you already had 5 in there, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's up to 11 now. So that's another threshold crossed. So you will learn, or she has something for you about the Jello mold as well.
Wouldn't that be...
The Gex.
Okay,
Rex,
so at
so-
threshold, at threshold 10. Okay, the cellular. I'm going to try that again. The cellular composition of the sample differs slightly from anything seen on Earth, but not so significantly as to be completely incomprehensible. The cells seem to be a little more complex than those of terrestrial slime molds. The cells give off a pheromone that attracts other amoebic cells of the same species to join the collective entity, allowing it to grow. Now, at low temperatures, the creature seems to become sluggish. The cellular activity within the cells slows down, causing it to become inactive at temperatures of 5 degrees or lower. At temperatures of less than 0, the outer cells begin to die.
Okay.
It's quite a small threshold, isn't it? Between just sleeping and straight up death.
Yes, would be the answer to that. There's not a lot of room there, is there, between what sort of slows it down and what kills it off. Also, you know, if it dies at 0 degrees centigrade or lower, you know that there is a chance a British winter might kill it. Depending on, you know, some winters we get colder than that, some winters we have it quite mild. You don't know what it's going to be like this winter, but all of a sudden you're really starting to hope for cold.
For once.
For once.
Yeah.
So, and do you have anybody left on the team who wasn't assigned?
Just my closest work colleague, James Callahan, who was working on the acid.
He was working on the acid. Okay, so let us just bring the
Yeah, she has a character sheet.
James Callahan. So James has also gained 6 in the acid. So the success threshold now for the
Well,
acid.
you would have gained 4. That's
Just
plus
check.
6.
4. You're quite right. Yes. So let me just edit this. And that would take that up to 19. So you're not going to gain anything more than you already have there.
Can I assist him? I
Actually, you
want that
should have
20.
already had the 15 and haven't, so I'm going to give you it.
Try.
So, he's also had a breakthrough. The digestive enzyme achieves a peak performance at much higher temperatures due to its chemical composition. It would seem that these creatures are accustomed to a much warmer environment than here in the northern hemisphere of Earth. At the current temperature in the North Sea and the British Isles, their digestive enzymes have become much less efficient than normal. So you'd imagine in warmer climates, the acid that those things spit at people is going to do about twice as much damage in game terms.
Okay.
Which might also explain why the Mediterranean region seems to be having more trouble containing them. There you go. What's everybody else doing?
For just a last minute thing, I
Okay.
think we have our first hunt. We need to try and get a sample from a Spermosaurus.
Right, okay. Yes, because you've never managed to capture any samples. You've never killed one, have you?
No, we just seen one, didn't we?
So I'll add that to the
And
to-do
you
list.
threw a Molotov off it.
Tell you what, I'm going to
Well-
quickly visit the bathroom. You guys talk about what everybody else is wanting to do and what you're wanting to do as a group collectively. Next, I'll be back in a couple of minutes. I'll leave your feed going through to the recording, so obviously don't reveal any personal information.
So,
Am I being dumb? Did we do research on that the rock rod?
yes, we did. We got 4 points in it. Not enough to break through though.
Oh right, yeah. I might do some snooping around, or maybe.
Yeah. Well, we need to try and find a magazine. Possibly has or something that will give me like the ability to purchase some or get hold of lab equipment, which is why I've saved my points, my purchase power.
I haven't spent any. My plan was to just keep all of the resources to myself, but like if we need anything, I was gonna go out and try and get a discount on it. I'm happy to
My
buy some.
suggestion about lab equipment is that we make that the last thing we bring in. Because
It will be the
this
last
place
thing,
is
yeah.
going to be filthy.
Yeah, we still haven't
It's
access
filthy
to.
now, right? It's going to be filthy while we're doing works on it.
Yeah, we have access to a lab right now though, so we'll find,
Yeah.
I guess.
Uh-huh.
No worries, I'll put some points into the bunker then.
The other thing is, as well as one of the things you would do would be you would take the knowledge that you've already gained and you would research. You would research the hell out of it. You would go and see if there were any papers on any real world animals and how their digestive systems and their enzymes are different. And digestive enzymes are affected by different temperature ranges. For example, you would look at see if a zoologist has done a paper on the digestion of polar bears compared to the digestion of, you know, some of the bears who live further south, black bears, brown bears, that kind of thing.
Okay.
What do you think about us like trying to get a grant to do research on this alien stuff? Like you could go work for the government or something in like a secret lab somewhere underground.
No,
You
it'd
could
be
do
my boss
research
who
on
could
all
do
of
that
them.
then. Up to Lindsay.
Because that would be really cool. Because you've already got experience with it. You could totally be shipped off to somewhere remote. You know, do research on all these aliens. You could find everything out and then tell us about it.
So I think we should put my money into we need power. So did you say solar panels?
solar panels.
Yeah.
Solar panels
what?
are a small wind turbine because we've got the land. But
Mhm.
because we're surrounded on three sides by forest, I think really a wind turbine isn't going to be optimum. So I think probably solar panels would be best. And some
Yeah.
kind of
I'll put 4 points
battery.
into the bunker then.
battery. So that we can store any excess power.
Yeah.
I was thinking because we were planning to stick an incinerator in there, and we've got a lot of shit we have to burn. Could we have like a thermal generator kind of thing? Like you stick stuff in the incinerator, and that generates some kind, like a little bit of power.
Hmm.
I don't know
Worth
if that's
looking at.
possible.
Like a
I
steam
think, to be
engine.
honest though, something
Right,
like that's
sorry,
really
back.
good if you're constantly feeding it. So
Yeah.
we're better with the solar panels, I think.
So what
Right.
are we? Where are we at?
I'm putting
I
4
do.
points into the bunker, and I'm going to try for solar panels.
Okay, you're going to try for solar panels. You're going to put 4 points into the bunker. Just give me a second to select that. So it's on to 21. Okay, so this is for month 1, yeah?
Yeah.
Solar panels. I'm just going to write them down. Anything else you're going to be buying in month 1?
Did you say 21?
That's what you've got at the moment in the bunkers.
Right. Okay.
Right. Have we sorted out the plumbing?
The plumbing, right. Interesting thing about
Sure.
the plumbing is you are still on the same water supply as the farm. However, you do have a lot of the plastic pipes and the taps and stuff like that. You're going to need some replacement parts. Also, you were going to rip out the toilets and put some showers in. I don't know if you want to include that at this point, or if you just want to do basic plumbing now and come back to that.
How long will it take for the waterworks to go offline?
Well, that's an interesting one. The
So I was
waterworks,
thinking we could get a well.
Yeah.
Well.
the waterworks will not run for long after humans stop manning it. Couple of days, week maybe.
We might. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get well.
Rob's resisting the urge to go and nick a bunch of Bear Grylls box sets.
Okay, is he resisting or is he failing to resist?
Well, I could always go and try to get some like survival guides,
Right? Yeah.
because then that way we'll have information we can start using
Yeah.
to do stuff for like living off the land, as it were, if stuff does go down,
Yeah.
especially if it goes down sooner than we expect.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Good point. So what I'm going to say is, would you like to? This is a stupid question on my part, but I have to ask. Would you like to pay for them, or are you just going to 5-finger discount them?
I think that Rob's going to relocate them to his inside jacket.
Okay, so Rab's going to rehome the books he wants. So he's in he spends the day in various bookshops checking for the kind of
I'm
pamphlets.
actually
and
going
books
to check in a library first.
Okay.
Could rent it out.
Less chance of getting caught.
Depends. Newcastle Central Library does have an electronic method for tracking.
I
these
mean,
books.
you
You are a
could
wanted man.
But usually it's on the page that gets stamped, and if you rip out that page,
Good point. Okay, give me a.
or you could just borrow them and then not return them.
Yeah.
yeah,
exactly.
but then that would be like
Leaves a
giving
paper trail.
names and stuff. And if the police are looking for me,
Which
Yeah,
you
but
will
that
know
wallet that you've lifted off that guy with his ID in it.
Mhm. You're not going to give your real name, are you?
no man, my name's Scott. What are you talking about?
Sarah.
So okay, how would Rab like to do this?
Well, just wait. I'm going to put on my finest cap.
Right, right, okay.
God.
Make Glasgow great again. Yeah.
Yes. No. It's going to be a vintage Glasgow Smiles better.
Oh my god. At least it wasn't what's it called.
Cumbernauld.
Or one of the Joe's.
Yes. And any Scots listening who are over a certain age screamed Cumbernauld when I said what's it called.
Cold eye. Okay,
And
so
remember that email address to complain is.
dh9radio@mail.com. That's dh9radio@mail.com.
DH9 radio, Brian. We're not on the radio.
Okay, well, yes, technically we are now DH9 Broadcasting, but we haven't changed the name yet. I suppose technically you could complain to Gethsemane Games at gmail.com as well. Or you could use our specialist complaints line, which is I probably won't read it anyway at mail.com. That's I probably won't read
Plug
it
in all the
anyway
links.
at mail.com.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'll take a backpack with me that's empty,
Yep.
and I'll take that wallet, and when I go there, I'll find out what I need to be able to join up and how many books I'm allowed to take out straight away.
Okay. Let's see if you manage to get by them. So you present the guy's ID and try to look as respectable as you possibly can. Although the woman kind of looks at the ID and looks at you and like, huh? I'm going to assume you've attempted to make some adjustments to the ID so that it's your photograph.
Yes, of
Okay.
course.
So we will have needed a forgery roll. Yes, I'm just trying to find what forgery might be under.
I don't
Dexterity?
have forgery. I've got communication deception.
On Philip's thing, it comes under his dexterity.
It comes on dexterity. Does it? Yes, I spot it now. Excellent. Okay, so let's assume that you went to Philip to get it done. Let's make a roll for Philip's forgery, then dexterity forgery.
Hold on, I get up. I don't even have that cavity sheet.
No, but it sounds very much like Chris has it open, so if you'd like to give us a roll, that would be
sure.
grand. So Philip is one of the NPCs, for those of you who are watching. The reason Chris has the stat is he was playing him in absence of his own character during one of the events. Let's have a look now. Okay, so it's not the best job he's ever done, but he figures,
Average.
who cares, this little Scottish scroat's never going to know any difference. He's probably just going to steal booze with it anyway. Okay, so this woman's now having a look at this ID and having a look at you. You can mitigate the poor ID a little bit by giving her some kind of cover story and then trying a communications deception test. But you'd need to give me something to hang the roll on.
Put it through the washer.
I man, it was an old photo that I had taken in that and I wasn't feeling too good that day, so I had to put like a brave face on it. I keep meaning to get a new one, but I always forget about it. You know what it's like, mock-up, don't you?
That's not bad, actually. Yeah, go ahead. I'll allow you to have a thing we roll, and we will increase the forgery by the 1 point you managed to generate on the stunts. So that's up to 12. So let's see if the librarian falls for this. Nope.
Oh my god!
Shenanigans.
Holy hell. 666.
Alright, so it says, just give me a moment, sir. I just need to pop into the back room, which takes the fake ID.
No, mate, get that ID. You're not taking that anywhere. I can't see it. Like, I know what you folk are like.
Will you just be a moment, sir?
No, man, my ID, geese it now, or I'm going to leather you.
You're going to what? I'm sorry?
Poor
I'll
old
phone
like lady just working at the library.
Pressing the panic button for the security guards. You can see guards starting to move in your
I'd get
direction.
out of there if I were you.
In that case, yeah, I think I'll just make a hasty retreat and I'll try another library.
Okay. You
Moving from library to library.
yeah, you leave Central Library fairly quickly. The guards they're not even really guards, they're just kind of they work in the library, they're other staff. They're not going to chase you beyond this. You know they're calling the police as we speak, but Central Library, there are multiple routes out of there, so once you're out you can be away and into Central Newcastle in no time at all. you're going to give, by the time the police respond to this, you're going to be quite a distance away. So, trying to think where the next library is. You're actually wandering up the street trying to, I've seen another library around here. And you walk straight past Waterstones and think, hold on a minute, they'll have what I need.
Yep, I'll go in there.
So, heading into Waterstones, who have significantly less security for their books, all you really have to do here is steal a few. So you manage to find a section that you're interested in. Go ahead. If you're just going to do a simple grab when nobody's looking, you can just give me a dexterity sleight of hand. If you've got a slightly more complicated plan, let me know what it is.
For God's sake.
The dice do not like you guys today.
No.
So, let's just see what happens. Just double check your talents as a burglar. Do you get, as a dodgy type, do you get a chance to re-roll that?
Let's see, 2 seconds. If I fail a dexterity sabotage test, I can re-roll it, but I have to keep the second roll.
So it's
Basically
sabotage.
says security measures can't stop me.
Don't you have something specifically for stealing? Because you just rolled straight dex there.
I won't actually.
You don't have sleight of hand or anything.
My dexterity focuses on stealth and sabotage.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to let you add stealth to this, actually, instead of sleight of hand. So, because it's all about not being seen, is it? That's nice, but I was just going to say add 2 to the roll you'd already made, so it's 14. Okay. It's 14, so let me see if anybody notices you. Nope.
That's more like it.
Okay, so add to your personal equipment. You've got a bunch of books on survival. So Rab's been out most of the day and he comes back and starts your library. And let's be honest here, the last person in the entire group you would have thought would have started by building a library in your bunker would have been Rab. In fact, you weren't even sure he could read.
I totally can, like.
Seems he can, and you notice that the books and pamphlets and magazines he's brought back are all about survival and
growing certain hemps.
Yeah, I was going to say how to grow weed.
Yes. They are actually going to be quite useful. So I'm going to say put it in the handout. There's a collective handout somewhere. You will notice.
Group inventory.
Group inventory, right. Add to the group inventory books on survival +2 to appropriate focuses. Okay, so whenever you have time to read the books through while you're doing something, you would get a +2 focus. If you don't have time to sit and read the books whilst you're doing it, that focus doesn't apply. So the books don't give your characters a permanent boost. Mm-hmm. They only give you +2 to any rolls that you can.
Yeah, like reference.
Yeah, exactly, reference library type of thing. Okay. So what was everybody else doing whilst Andrew? Is it Adam? Sorry. Whilst Adam was at work and Rab was technically for him also at work. Whilst Joe was failing to con any money out of his parents and the rest of you were pissing yourself.
I was thinking that I was with Adam. I was going to be doing some skulking around.
That's right, you are with Adam, aren't you?
I was going to go to work with them.
Yes.
I was going to say, while you were gone, I had this super cool idea. Adam should totally go work. Since he's already got experience with aliens, he should totally go work in a secret, government facility, and he could feed us information back.
That's not a bad idea.
There's an adventure in that.
There is definitely several adventures in that, yes. So yeah,
I was wanting to skulk around, get some information, maybe see if there's any government spies among us.
Okay,
maybe eject them, the sus one.
Make a perception seeing test, please, or empathy test would do.
Yes, I'm going to go work for Edward Law Manor.
Okie dokie. I believe I get a reroll if I fail this one. I think. I don't remember. I'm going to see if I can reroll that, because
What has just happened?
I got
there?
13, that's what happened. Sucks, I know.
I'm just wondering what Chris is rolling.
Sorry?
What?
I haven't seen him roll anything.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Chris
I've just
hasn't rolled
realised my slide bar's at the wrong end of the conversation, so I'm seeing something from like days ago. Well, earlier.
Oh
in the
yeah,
day.
that's happened to me. A
Right.
bunch.
I'll slide it back down. That's a 13 you got. Okay, you're
Is
not.
that a pass?
Yeah.
Because I can re-roll.
No, that'll be a pass. You're not seeing anybody that looks out of place here. No government spies, no agents of any kind. As far as you can tell, there is nothing much to be gained.
So they don't know that we actually have aliens here yet, do they? Good.
It looks like that is information that has not arrived with them yet. Or, if it has, they haven't done anything about it. They haven't sent anybody to collect it or stop you doing it or take the samples of you.
On that subject, do you think I could ask around the staff, seeing if they have any rumours about any facilities that are actually researching the alien life?
Yes, go ahead. Make a communication persuasion roll. See if you can get anybody to talk to you about it.
It's when they all point at the floor.
Sucks.
Yes.
Yep, my communication sucks.
Here.
Okay. Here.
We're doing that here.
We're doing a bit of it here. We're sending information to one or two other organisations. We think there is a... I mean, we are one of the higher, highly equipped biology labs in the area, us and Durham University. So there's the two places I think that are most likely to be what you're looking for. Was that a help?
Yeah, that's perfect.
With that, she goes back to what she was doing and kind of ignores your presence.
You're giving her presents? Are you asking her out on a date?
So you'll notice that you're currently standing in one of the low BSL 1 laboratories.
How'd I get here?
For those who don't know, BSL 1 is biosafety level 1. So it's a kind of laboratory you would find in a high school. Yeah, high school lab would be a BSL 1. So this is not
Bryan.
somewhere you generally deal with things like Ebola or stuff like that. But there are other biosafety level labs in this complex, which is what Adam's team's working from. Sorry, Jenny, you were going to ask me a question.
That was Marie.
Oh, sorry, Marie, you were going to ask me a question.
Don't even recognise him at your own wife's voice. Bryan, this is out of game, but
Yes.
there's something coming on TV I want you to call me, so I've sent you a PM.
Oh, right, sorry. Yes, okay.
Sorry.
Okay, talk amongst yourselves while I desperately try and
Breaking the
figure
fourth
out where the
wall
hell
then,
my... Oh, shit.
So Ben, you want me to work at Woodlow Manor? It's Area 51 of the UK.
It would honestly be so sick if you worked for like a government agency.
We
Oh,
googled Woodlow Manor.
I'm just going to have to take... Oh, shit. Marie, you're going to have to tell me again the... I've just switched the screen back onto the television, which means I now can't access me Facebook. So...
Could tie in. I mean, there is meant to be future.
Oh, wait a
plans
minute. I
of
can do it on me. You guys
me
just...
and Erin Black. So once she gets a chop.
Okay, so what's everybody else doing at the time whilst I try and juggle these?
And people were Murray and Tom's on Jenny. So
Yeah, I mean, I
Expect-
don't have anything specific.
Just fixing.
Yeah.
Jenny could get the caravan, I guess.
Oh, actually, yeah. Come to think of it, could do.
Is
Sure,
that
your family
BBC
might-
One, Marie, you mean?
Yeah.
Caravan and
Yeah,
tents
no
and
problem.
stuff.
Get us one of
And
those.
record. I'll
Living
just
homes
check
from
that
Breaking Bad.
that's... Yep, there we go. That's recording now.
Fab.
So I will just switch the television back over so it's screen 2 on my setup here. Hang on.
Sorry about that. Only just
No, that's
found out
okay.
about
That's
it.
fine. As long as I don't have to watch it.
And I only know 'cause somebody, somebody messaged me. So
Aye.
Reckon
Okay,
if Ram-
sorry about that. Okay, is there anybody that needs me to deal with them right now, or because I have got something coming up that's about to happen, or that I'm going to ask questions about, I should say.
Well, I was just gonna see about getting the caravan and tents or whatever.
Yeah. Once I would be into Waterstones, he was still going to find another library.
You're gonna
Uh,
go Nick Moore. You
okay.
can go to W.H. Smith's. They sell a lot of books.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm going round places that have got books, and I might even go round them in a couple of days again as well.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Okay, I'll come back to you in a
keeps
minute.
nicking
I'll
all me
deal with
survival
Jenny
books.
first because she hasn't had much to do. So Jenny, I'll do you now. What was the question?
What?
Jenny?
Oh, sorry. I was gonna try and see about getting the caravan and some tents or what.
That's right, you
Whatever
were.
we were
So,
gonna do.
caravan and tents. Let me just have a look under resources, see how much that's going to add to this month's costs. And if people could be thinking about any other things that they're going to have to pay for this month, so we can see if we can afford everything. So, resources.
I have a request.
Hold on a second, I'm dealing with Jenny. You just give me. Actually, no, go ahead, because the other people need to see
It was going to be, can we
Yeah, yeah.
go over to the base, like the bunker, so I can see if there's anything immediate to buy?
Sorry, yes, I should have put you on that. My mistake. There you go. Okay,
Thanks.
so where the hell's equipment in this?
I'm thinking to help with the safety.
Equipment, there we go. And we're talking about a caravan here, aren't we? So if I come down to...
Another thing I was
yeah, go
thinking
ahead.
of
Mhm.
is when I do eventually get the helicopter,
Mhm.
if there was anything I could kind of try and, I don't know, have a look around for to see that could be used to camouflage it, I guess.
Okay,
know.
yes, we could have a look at that. Just give me a second to deal with the... I'm going to
Could get
count...
large gorilla netting or something.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be buying it now, but it's just, you know.
So
see.
you're buying solar panels, which I hadn't priced yet, and you are buying the caravan and
Yeah.
tents. So the caravan and tents, I'm going to treat that as a large truck. 14. And the solar panels, well, I know roughly what they cost because I've got them on the house at the moment, but you're probably looking to power a bit more than we can, so I'm going to double that.
Found a 360 watt one, that's £300 panel.
£300 a panel. Okay, that's not bad. I might get another panel in the house or something.
Don't know how big that
Apparently-
is though.
There are grants potentially.
Oh, I thought
Saw an
I
advert.
thought they'd gone off. Okay, so that'll be 10 for the solar panels. So you up
Ben could
so
pinch them
far.
off the... Yeah, sorry.
So far, this month's spend is at 24.
Okay.
Let me just check what your...
No, it's not very big.
Okay. You're at 21 is the amount of in the pool at the moment. So bear in mind you can go 4 points over your resources before you start to need a test. You can, at the moment, afford the solar panels and the caravan and tents this month. However, you did talk about securing the place and you've spent no money on securing the place so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are
Right,
people's thoughts about that?
We
We
need
need to
those
get-
two blast doors, new ones.
Yeah.
What are those red lines that have been drawn by Sean?
The red lines that have been drawn by Sean. I would imagine they're additional blast doors, am I right, Sean?
That's where I would put them.
Okay.
That gives you the
That's-
most space because you've got that right at the far end of that entry.
This thing, which is where it says behind a locked fence,
Water.
that was the water thing. Well,
Yes.
that's no good if something breaks in and wrecks the water thing, is it? I mean,
Yeah,
Only
yeah
prob-
red lines are exactly where to put blast doors or barriers or something?
You'd think so. The only problem with that is, remember I mentioned the winches for heavy equipment? They're going to need 2 to 3 meters, so if you move this one on the east back a little bit, I'll just do that to where I would suggest. Probably
Because
about...
this is the emergency exit, we could cover that up. Then we don't have to like secure it too much as long as it's hidden.
I would still have an emergency exit secured.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if something finds that, they can get in it and we won't have a clue.
Yeah.
Which is why I would also have like some sort of security and camera watching it as well.
I would tend to agree, but then I'm
We
the
have
Guild
we
Master, so
do have
normally-
cameras there and here, and I would actually move that camera.
Right, well, how about...
over
So
here?
Sean, I've just moved the. This is a suggestion. I am the games master, so you can tell me to go fuck myself. But I've just moved the eastern blast door suggestion back a little bit. That
Back
gives
a
you
little bit. Yeah,
just
that gives
enough-
us that 2 square space by the stairs.
yes, and that'll
Yeah.
allow you to bring heavy equipment down via the. Are you guys okay with that suggestion?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'll
Well,
just check the northern one. I think that's probably already got enough. It's going to need to come back about half.
Yeah.
Maybe move it back a full one for this one, so really big
Yeah.
equipment can be.
Yeah, that's not a problem with that then.
Yeah, because the bend in that corridor is where we're setting up the sentry guns. I mean, what?
Is it possible that we could possibly maybe get Vab and maybe Joe to maybe pinch a couple of solar panels temporarily?
Okay.
So there's a construction site with solar panels on it?
There will definitely be a construction site with solar panels on it somewhere in the northeast. Finding it and then being able to rob it will be the tricky
Also,
bit.
plenty of houses with them.
Plenty of
Just
houses
take 'em
with
off
them,
a house,
but
aren't
taking them off a house they're installed on is a bit tricky, especially
Yeah.
as they are live.
On the line too, you'd need scaffolding.
Yes, to get them down safely. So your best bet would be to find possibly a warehouse that's got them, or a building
What-
site that hasn't installed them yet.
What would you guys prefer then, the blast doors or the solar panels?
Well, let me just
both.
give you a price on the blast doors, and you can figure out if you think you can afford all of it in one go or not. So let me just take a
Can't
bit
we
of
just
a,
move our old ones?
the old shit. Yeah, you can. I. So were these blast doors you were talking about going to be in addition to the ones that already exist?
That was my idea. I
Yeah.
was thinking we would add extra
Yeah.
doors
That was
because it makes it more secure and there's more time to get out.
That was what I
Or-
thought you meant, but I just thought I'd best check once Ben brought that question up there. So, blast doors, trying to base that on something that would be of an appropriately similar cost.
Giant steel door.
Yeah.
Or we'd have to build it up inside the bunker. We wouldn't be able to just take it in.
Well, no, you could get them in, but you're going to have to do sort of set the hinges, etc., on the inside.
Mhm.
That's
Okay,
what have you.
so you're probably talking for 2 blast doors. That's going to
Oh.
take you up to...
No, I've just looked up how much they are.
How much are they?
Well, these are technically vault doors, but they're about $10,000.
Dollars, so that's £6,000. Okay, that is quite expensive. Okay, so how many?
Concrete
How
filled
many?
blast doors about $6,000.
That's because the concrete filled. The ones you already had on were just really thick steel.
Oh well, yeah.
What security rating are they? Because it goes up, it's up to 5 levels.
Um,
Because your level 1 would be like shutters on a shop,
Yeah.
basically.
Then it would genuinely be like $10,000 for a door.
remembering you're kind of trying to slow people down rather than necessarily see. Well, I don't know.
You could get the fenced ones then. They're not pure thick steel, but they're like bars. They're about $4,200. Or yeah.
Would shutters be okay to start with? I mean, we can
Start
maybe...
with, I think. Yeah, maybe.
Well, to save $4,000, you're still talking less than a car there. Even for 4, you would be talking about another 13 on your thing, which would give you 10, 20, 30, 4, 5, 37. That would take your total cost up to 37 if you bought 4 sets of heavy blast doors this month. If you choose to buy less, you can reduce that cost. Also, you might choose to just steal the solar panels or buy them next month or whatever. So
Is this including the caravan thing? Because we did not get that this time round.
yeah, this is including the caravan thing.
I guess we still are able to live in our homes for at least another month.
Oh yeah. For 1
Yeah,
month,
well,
you should
we
be
can
okay.
leave the caravan and
You can
tents
sell your house
now.
as well.
So how much is it for just the blast doors and the solar panel?
23.
Oh, we having enough then.
You actually have enough to do this without a test. So you can either just buy this for this month, in which case your end of month, the pool will drop, but you will still have the 3 points I said if they weren't spent won't go. They're not going to be
Right.
spent unless you actually need a test. So the end of the month would drop your pool back to 3, but you would have the blast doors installed and you would have the solar panels installed.
You just have to maybe hunt around for like showers and toilets.
Yes, that's right, because we hadn't done the full set of plumbing yet either. But
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I could always try and
check
see
out
if
some scrapyards and
get a
stuff.
few things that would be within the budget
Mhm.
that we could use. You know.
yeah,
Well, you do that on the page. If you can go back to the other page,
Mhm.
on the second assignment, it was to check out research local area. So we could do that to find different things like pipes, and you might even get a plumber that might do it really cheap.
yeah, I don't think they exist.
Yeah.
I mean, I know post-apocalyptic fiction's a type of fantasy, but it doesn't get so fantastical that there are cheap plumbers. Okay, so currently, yeah, you can choose to add the plumbing with the new showers and everything if you wanted. That would add another 8, which would take you to 20.
To you guys.
31, which would mean having to roll.
I don't
Didn't mean to
know.
send all that.
I'm thinking just get the blast doors and the solar panels, and then just a few bits and pieces like what Ben's putting up there that would take us up to the point where the max point that we don't have to do a roll
Okay,
for.
plaster walls is going. I've got a price for that for you. Just give me a second. So plaster walls, to do all the plaster walls that you've marked on the map, would be 13 resource points worth. And just what the
I
camera
think-
system would be 12 points worth.
I think probably getting the place secure.
Mhm.
So the blast doors that are on are fine. Plastering
Yeah.
it seems a bit cosmetic. Do you know what I mean?
What does,
Especially if
sorry?
we're going to play up the mankiness of the place for things like escape rooms and ghost hunts.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we could get some basic cleaning stuff to get
Yeah.
rid of, like, you know.
And the next month
really
we can
gross
get cameras
Well, if I can get
and then pipe repair.
if I can get a bit of an answer about what it is you're going to buy this time round, and then we'll move on from there. Some of the stuff Ben's putting up you can actually bring from home, so.
I was gonna ask how much would all that cost, because I think that all that right there would be fairly cheap. We could just get that all in one go.
Well, no, because you've included camera system, which is 12, wires, which you don't need because you've got some, beds, which you can bring from home, plaster walls, which is 13.
So how much? I didn't. Yeah, sorry. I know I didn't hear you say all that, but I mean, aside from that, it's relatively cheap, right?
I mean,
Advised?
some of this stuff is just like cleaning stuff and disinfectants. That's pocket change.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So we just get the blast doors and the solar panels and the rest of the stuff. We can just start bringing some things over from our own houses
Right.
Yeah.
for
We
like
actually
cleaning
buy-
and stuff.
Would any of us
That's
have
it.
solar panels on our houses at the moment?
Possibly.
Possibly.
But actually getting them disconnected,
Yes.
getting them off the roof.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
they're not
reinstalling them.
lightweight.
They're not. They're huge.
Yeah, I've got them on my house.
Yeah. We have. Yeah, the big things.
Vicky Ryan's an environmentalist, so she probably have some.
Ah, so she is. She might actually be able to get you a deal on the solar panels. Marie, have you got the stats for your sister's character? Your
Just a
your
second.
character's
I
sister.
think we all do, to be honest.
We'll let Marie do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring a carrot to shoot up.
Yeah. Because I think we can only really afford the two big main things, but they're like the most needed, aren't they? Really?
Right, I've got our
Yeah.
carrot sheet up.
What are her resources?
2.
Okay,
And we both put one out each in.
that's
Our
right.
resources are both only 2, so her resources are temporarily 1.
Yeah, that's okay. That's not a problem. I don't really know why I asked resources. Wasn't really what I meant to ask. I just kind of had a bit of a moment. Okay, so have a look at her focuses. Tell me what you think she'd like to use to try and source some cheaper solar panels for you.
I'm looking.
Searching.
Yeah, searching's going to be the only one, really.
Okay, that's not... Well, yes, I suppose I could give you search, and I was more thinking of environmentalism if she has that focus, or persuasion or bargaining would probably be the best
Nope.
bet.
And she's got performance, animal handling, and searching.
Okay, she doesn't have environmentalism or anything.
No.
Okay, give
It's
me
funny,
a s-
considering she's an environmentalist.
yeah, exactly. Give me a searching roll, please.
By the way, her profession is a scavenger.
Oh, really?
That might give her a specialty with a bonus. Ah, she's not going to need it. Right, okay. So, she's managed to find you some cheap solar panels, reclaimed, that will only cost you 6 instead of the 10 it would have done.
Oh, that's nice.
Which means that buying both of those would only come to 19. Which means you might want to add, or you might choose to add something else to your purchase list for this time round. It's up to you.
Let's have a look at the list.
I've ticked off some things that we.
Whatever you
already
do,
got
though,
on
make
hand
a
quite
make a
easily.
decision fairly swiftly because stuff's about to happen.
So if we got the discounted solar panels, the blast doors right now,
Yep.
what would be fairly cheap that we absolutely need?
Okay. Depends what you can steer absolutely need, really.
Do we need like a new cooker? Did
I'll-
Chris manage to get that generator?
Yes.
Didn't he?
Yes.
He did. We could get a fridge freezers. That'll be quite
Air filters.
good.
We take fridge freezers from our own homes.
I would imagine cookers and fridge freezers, you're likely to just relocate your own.
What about if we sort out either the safes or the lights? Probably the lights.
Do we have a generator at this point?
Yes.
Is
Chris-
it wired in?
Chris did a little bit. No, not yet.
Do we have aircon?
No.
That's what I was saying, air filters at least.
I was wanting to buy one of those. How much would one of those cost? A nice new aircon.
Aircon. Right now, let's have a look.
Probably somewhere in the
Aircon
region of
slash
12
air
grand.
filter.
So, modern air conditioning unit for a building of this size would be another 10 on the, which would take you back up to 29.
Rab, go rip one off the side of a takeaway.
So if you
Yeah,
want,
just
if you
strip a
wanted
few
to
cars
add
down.
the, if you wanted to add the aircon for the first month, That would give you a monthly expenditure of 29, so it would require a resource roll.
What about air filters then?
Can I use...
Or a filtration system?
Stop. Can I use searching to see if Vicky can find a second-hand one? Or an environmentally friendly, cheaper one?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I'm going to try it.
Oh,
yes.
nice.
Okay, that's one more point in the complications. Dun, dun, dun. Yes, she's passed. What's popped up? There we go. She's passed, and with 6 stunt points as well. So, using your thingy stunts, what would you like to use those for?
Is it exploration?
That's
stunts?
the ones, yes. It's words that start in E. I kind of keep them in my mind. I don't know why. Okay, so you've got 6 points of exploration stunts, and she's able to find you some reconditioned but A-rated, environmentally friendly air conditioning units for 4.
4.
Which would put your entire spend at 23.
Then
the
I
month.
will put 2 points in, so we
You
can
don't need to.
afford it easily.
You don't need
Oh.
to. Remember, you can go up to 4 higher than your actual resources without needing a test.
Okay.
Can she use...
Do the thing to
Like,
get more
is there a
money.
maximum you can put in any one of these?
If there
Right.
is, it'll tell you.
Right. So if she puts all 6 into pay dirt,
Right, yes.
yeah?
Yes. So, what happens is that Vicky has managed to find a place that's selling off a bunch of old reconditioned or reclaimed and reconditioned stuff from a house that's been demolished. A lot of the stuff is stuff you need, and some of it isn't, so you can sell the rest on. So you can put 6 points in the pool. That will take that up to 27. You now have. But obviously, you would have to use some of that, on the solar panels and the thing, because that's essentially what that is. So aircon. So aircon.
And obviously we're going to have to do the work to put these in ourselves, because they won't come with a person fitting them.
That's right. So now that we've okay, so that's 10, 20.
Use the books that we're getting for that.
So you're on 23. Is there anything else that you particularly want to pick up this time round?
Air purification.
How much were the cameras?
The cameras are 12. The air purification would cost 12.
It's quite a lot. I don't mind putting
So
points
why
in, but I
don't we
haven't actually
use
put any
why
in.
don't we use the 4 to buy in some of the things like the drywall and stuff for when we're going to put, you know, the sheet rock, gyp rock that we're going to use to divide the place up, so that we buy
Some
that
of
and we
it,
have
yeah.
it, so that, you know.
Okay, what I'll do is I'll say that you've already spent 4 then on plaster walls. So that's still 9 worth you would need in future, but you've got the first few panels delivered, yeah?
Yeah.
And the air conditioning, the solar panels, and the blast doors. So if you'd like to add, those two, would you like me to start a new handout for you, or how do you want to do this?
Yeah, do it. Well, you could use the same one and move stuff down.
I've ticked it off.
You've ticked it off.
That
right?
helps.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's fine.
He's that annoying. He's ticked it off.
Yeah, okay, so you've got the air conditioning, the solar panels, the blast doors are all being delivered sometime this month and installed. Excellent. So, During the course of the month, there's an awful lot of work going on at the bunker. You're cleaning things down. You're coming and going because obviously you're all working and whatnot. Things in the world are beginning to deteriorate. There are more of these purple flashes in the sky, but instead of being global now, they're appearing not frequently and not in any pattern, but locally. The incidences of illnesses, of diseases that people can't identify are starting to increase, and you're starting to see them in different parts of the world. Some countries are starting to close down their borders. The incidences of alien creatures appearing in Europe, continental Africa, Asia, and so on and Australia as well, are definitely on the increase over the course of this month. The United Nations Security Council has come together to try and come up with a unified policy of what to do. And whilst Erin is at work, just give me a second to open the section on the next adventure, which will be sort of a side quest, if you like.
I'm going to get rid of Go to Observatory because you would have probably just found out more about the sky being individual in that.
Okay, yeah, a lot of that you can get off offline actually. So chapter 3 side quest.
NASA.com.
Let me just see. Keep calm and carry on. Introduction. Hancock's Heist Hour. Sample analysis. Where the fuck is the? Huh. Ah, right. Here it is. Rigged odds. Introduction. Oh, Christ. Right then. So, whilst the rest of you are working on the bunker one night, an SOS arrives at the Coast Guard station that Erin's based at. Erin, you're actually on duty that night, so you're in work. You've been sat around, there's not been a great deal to do when the SOS went out an hour ago from one of the North Sea oil rigs in your patrol range. They have a medical emergency that is beyond the on-site medical facilities and have requested a medevac.
Right.
To make matters worse, a major storm is moving in towards the rig. The rig itself is a deep draft mega rig which can weather the storm if it battens down, but once the storm hits, all surface and aircraft travel in the vicinity will become extremely dangerous. Responding to the SOS, the local Coast Guard station is one of the few able to deploy a medevac helicopter and full team with onboard medical facilities in to get the casualty out and get back before the storm hits. Although it may be a close call.
Yeah.
The on-duty helicopter crew, that's you, and medical team are dispatched urgently to the rig. So there's going to be about 6 people on board this helicopter. The medical team, the pilot, which is you, the co-pilot, and the winchman. So the on-duty helicopter crew and medical officer are dispatched urgently to the rig in a race against time to get the casualty off the rig before the storm can hit. As the helicopter approaches, the radio crackles to life again. Just give me a second. Okay. Coast Guard 39er from Coast Guard Actual. We have confirmation from the Met Office. The storm approaching your position is the result of a dimensional tear over the North Sea. That's why they didn't predict it any sooner. They've no firm data on what the unusual conditions might come through the storm with it, through the rift with the storm. You guys get in and get out as fast as you can. Stay safe. Over.
Wonderful.
Around the passenger cabin of the huge air sea rescue helicopter, the half-dozen personnel share worried looks with one another. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, hello, kitten. I've been bugged by a hungry cat. Okay, so going over to approaching the oil rig. The howling winds buffet the helicopter, making it a fight to control as the sky above begins to turn a faint pinkish purple. The radio crackles into life for the umpteenth time as the air traffic controller at Kittiwake B oil rig the one you're racing towards, issue another update. The storm is closing in more quickly than anticipated. Time, it would seem, is not on your side. As you struggle to try and keep the helicopter on course in the ever-increasing wind, just as you think the storm is winning the race, you see the lights of Kittiwake B in the distance. To the north, the sea is boiling. A nightmare of giant waves as the storm rushes in. Fighting to keep the helicopter level and on course, Erin is bellowing into the radio, trying to be heard over the storm and the thunderous sound of the helicopter's rotors. Kittiwake B, we're coming in for a landing attempt. We have eyes on you now. We are encountering heavy crosswinds and poor visibility. Stand by, over. Then under her breath, shit, I hope this works. Raising her voice again, although everyone in the chopper is already wearing a headset. We're going in. Get ready. This is going to be a little tricky. As if to emphasize your words, a heavy gust slams the chopper, rocking it, causing it to drop from the sky. Make a piloting dexterity test, please.
Oh God.
Oh no.
No, she's
Bye,
nervous.
Erin.
I get a +1 to this, and I can re-roll if I fuck it up.
Yep.
So we'll see.
First go in the helicopter and she crashes.
Oh shit! I rolled the wrong thing. I need to roll piloting.
Oh God.
Oh dear. 6,
Oh
7,
no!
10, 11,
hang on.
12.
That's broken.
11.
Yeah, it didn't add
I got 11.
piloting on top of that.
You need to rewrite your piloting then.
Yes. I don't know why.
So
it's-
it
12.
hasn't added. So, yeah, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. That would be 14 if you've got the piloting.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
Thing as
do,
well.
and I got a +1 anyway. So
Okay, so the helicopter's buffeted around a bit. Everybody in it's been rattled about and banged heavily back into the seats. They're all strapped in though, so the chances of being injured pretty damn slim, to be entirely honest. Give me a Constitution thingy. What do they call it? Tolerance test, please.
oh god.
It's all right. You only need to beat 7. Okay, so you're being rattled around quite a bit, and the helicopter's dropped about 60 feet with the force of the wind. But you're fighting it back against the vibration in the pedals, and you're fighting it to get it back. This is a big fucking helicopter. It's difficult to fly at the best of times. In a storm like this, it's extremely difficult to pilot, but you manage to pick it back up. You accelerate as quickly as you can in a desperate attempt to get to Kittiwake B before the storm hits in full force. You've already been buffeted. Your vision is down to almost nothing. The sky above you has now gone from a light pinkish purple to a dark, dismal, worrying purple of the otherverse. You realise that you're flying through some kind of liquid you hope is either rain or the wash off an earth ocean that you're flying over now, or sea that you're flying over now. But it could be anything from the otherverse as well. There are dark shapes in the water. You can't quite make out what they are. There might be nothing. But you're more
Yeah,
concerned about trying to get your helicopter landed on... Let me just take it over. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the map I mentioned that I didn't make. Available free online, and I cannot find out who is responsible. So if anybody happens to know who made this one, let me know so I can credit them properly. It's not bad at all, is it? As you can see, fucking huge.
I was zoomed in too far there.
Very
Yeah, I think everybody was. So you're trying to land over here on the... Ignore the name, this is not Deep Sea Nordcat. Although it is actually a reasonably accurate facsimile of that genuine oil thing. But this is Kittiwake B, which is what's actually written there. So you've got a worried sound and air traffic controller somewhere on Kittiwake B, trying to guide you in. The radio traffic's coming backwards and forwards between you and them fairly quickly. They're warning you about the crosswinds that are now coming in at 45 knots and upwards. It's hitting the helicopter. It's gusting up to 52 knots as well. So those gusts are really hitting you. This is difficult. Just keeping it from not pitching into the ocean's one thing, but if you overshoot this landing site, which is a possibility, you're going to crash into an oil rig full of oil
Yeah. Try not to be doing that.
and people.
At least it's raining.
At least it's raining. Okay, so let me have. This is going to be an advanced test, and every time you fail a roll,
Oh, God.
things get interesting.
Good job. I burnt all those bad rolls earlier, eh?
It is, Fortunately, that first piloting roll you gave us earlier means that you managed to get here before the conditions get even worse. So your
Okay.
target number is lower than it might otherwise have been.
Okay.
Isn't that nice? So, go ahead and give me a piloting test, please.
Okay.
So that's
this will be
dexterity
+1.
piloting. This is +1. Okay.
Hopefully this works now. Okay, so that's 13.
Looks
If
like
I
it did.
fail, I can re-roll though.
13. We are on. Well, you passed the first roll, so you arrive when this is hard rather than formidable. So,
Okay.
yep, you've just failed. Give me another roll.
Right, I'll try re-rolling then, because I've got expert in piloting a helicopter.
Yeah.
So
Okay, go ahead and give me a second.
okay. 14.
14. Oh no! Still not quite. 1 point off.
No.
So the helicopter's been battered around. You're trying to get in to make this landing, but you have to sort of circle round and come out the first time because the crosswinds are just hammering you sideways, threatening to drive you off the landing pad. You do a circle, come round, and try again.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, just what Sean's just said. If I absolutely have to, I've got conviction.
You have indeed, yes.
I'm ready with her.
I'm gonna give it another normal go though. So.
Oh,
Oh shit!
Good
Right.
job. You get a re-roll. Hey.
Right, re-rolling. If this doesn't work, I'm using a conviction. I don't
You're
care.
going to burn a conviction
Right.
point if this fails, yeah.
Ashes to ashes.
Whoa! Brilliant.
Oh, that's
What
more
was
like
that?
it.
Crashes to crashes, did he say?
Yes.
Ashes to ashes.
Panicking, and then you suddenly just get a sign and then you pull
Yeah.
up.
Okay, so that's +4 on your target. So you're fighting with the helicopter through this buffeting wind. The last time it was the wind that almost blew you off the off course and into the rig itself. This time you're managing to hold steady. So you're now approaching square on without being pushed sideways off. So you can start to attempt your landing. Unfortunately, this is an advanced test, so one successful roll isn't enough. You do, however, get 4 points of stunts. So decide what you want to use those stunts for.
To land.
+3 on the next roll. +3 on the next roll.
Yes, actually, if that's.
Yep.
Because I don't know what stunts I would be looking at.
You would be looking at. Let me think now. Well,
Can I ask if this is like sort of pseudo combat because you're fighting the wind,
well, yes, you can see it that way, I suppose. Yeah.
and you could use those. There's a stunt in the modern age about adding 3 stunt points to your next roll, isn't there? Advantageous positioning or something.
Advantageous positioning could work. Yes.
Yeah, I want to do. That sounds good to me because I want to do whatever I can. to get a
Okay,
decent
so you've
roll.
managed to get in the into an advantageous position. You're almost exactly above where you want to be. So if you can just come down without being blown off course,
Okay.
yeah, I'm still going to need a couple of successful rolls from you or some good stunt dice. But go ahead and roll.
6.
That's a 14.
That's a 14. That's not
But if you do your +3, that makes it 17.
17. That's a pass.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, and that's a pass with 6 points in the success pool. So you are descending. The wind is hitting you, but you're compensating for it. You've started to more or less guess when you're going to be hitting from which direction and how hard. So you're compensating almost before the gust hits. You're coming
Okay.
down. You're almost down, actually.
Okay. One more.
Go ahead and make
Timber.
another.
Sorry.
Ooh, yay.
That's a pass, and with another 6 points, you're down.
Phew.
Okay, so as the wind comes banging into the side of the thing, you're worried it's going to tear the rotor off almost, until you realise that that's really not likely at these wind speeds. They're bad, but not bad enough for that. You manage to get the helicopter down. The problem is you're in such a high wind that exiting the helicopter before the rotor blades have stopped in this kind of wind can be dangerous. Even when they have stopped, it can still be dangerous because at this wind speed, they're not really going to stop.
Yeah.
They're just not going to be under electrical
Just
power.
stuck a little bit.
Stuck a little bit. Okay, so you've got somebody in the control tower going, fucking hell, I didn't think you were going to manage that. That was amazing. That's the best landing I've ever seen. Check your fuel gauge. Let us know what you got.
Oh, you broke up a bit there, Brian.
Funnily enough, that's what happened to the guy that was
Oh,
calling
right.
in. So, whatever you heard is what you heard.
I'll check the fuel gauge then. 'cause I
Okay.
heard about that.
Now, it's funny you should ask. Give me a D6 roll, please.
Oh, I hate it when you make me do these.
You do, don't you?
Get a
And I
6.
don't care.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Actually, the
Your
fuel
your fuel is a bit on the low side. However, you think you've possibly got enough fuel to get back to land, but not in these conditions.
right. Okay.
Do
Well,
oil rigs carry helicopter fuel?
Oh yes, yeah. Oil rigs carry
Yeah.
quite a lot of helicopter fuel. You can refuel here. That's not a problem.
okay.
The problem is you're going to be doing it in a storm that really you should not be out in. Right now, you can see some very worried-looking guys dashing across the helicopter pad. They're all clipped on with safety ropes. They're trying to lash the helicopter down. One of them is blown back about 10 feet as he clips on.
Jesus.
And you just see this spark of static electricity, because helicopters generate a lot of static electricity at the best of times.
Yeah.
Which blows him back about 10 feet. You can see, for a moment, you think he's dead, but he eventually gets up. He's okay. He's going to be okay, but he's going to learn to actually follow the instructions about how to do this in future. They managed to secure the helicopter and get you out. But as you open the helicopter doors, the wind is just whack. It almost picks you off your feet.
Okay.
You can't really make out what these guys are saying, but they're also pointing at the stairs down this gangway. You think one of them just said to you, "We've got to get off this helipad."
Right. Well, I'll say
Massive
yeah,
wind.
I agree about that. I'm gonna try and.
Okay, you and the rest of the team, which is the medics, the co-pilot, and the winchman, all clamber out of your seats, release your things, get out of the helicopter, and with heads down start running towards that gangplank in this huge buffeting wind. And that's where we'll leave it. Till next week.
No. This is gonna be interesting.
It is. So, next week, ladies and gentlemen, this is a little bit of a side quest. So what will happen is everybody else will be playing a temporary character that's one of the members of the team. And that you notice there were 6 people in that helicopter and there's 6 players, right?
Very convenient.
Wasn't it
Yeah,
just? So you guys will be playing either members from the helicopter team or people from the oil rig. Obviously, once this side quest is finished and Erin gets back, if she gets back, then the rest of you will be playing your main characters again. But for 1, possibly 2 weeks, depending on how long this side quest takes, you guys will be playing temporary characters, and Jenny will be playing Erin.
Okay.
Okay, so for those of you at home, thank you very much for tuning in. I know a shopping episode isn't always everybody's favourite, but I hope you've enjoyed the game nonetheless. Next week, as you can tell, things are going to take a slightly more action-based turn of events, as we have the rescue team have just arrived at Kittiwake B to try and get this casualty medevaced in a storm that, frankly, is going to have them grounded and trapped on the oil rig during a storm that clearly didn't originate on this earth. So thank you very much for tuning in to watch the show. Do stay safe and take care. We'll see you all again next week. All the best.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.